It's time for Wichita State men's basketball. Now with the pregame, it's Mike Kennedy and Dave Dahl, live from Charles Koch Arena and on the Odyssey app, on your home for Shocker men's basketball. 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Good late afternoon, early evening from Charles Koch Arena. Dave Dahl alongside, and as always, our home broadcast assisted by Armand Ely here and Phil Hildebrand in the studio. It is great to have you with us. I have to say, first of all, this is a special night for me, and there are so many things happening beyond anything I ever expected to make it special. I just want to let everybody know how appreciative I am of that, and how appreciative I am of all of you out there who have been supportive and kind over the years, and what that means to me. Now,
yeah, it's well-deserved, but let's not lose our focus tonight, Mr. Kennedy. Bring home a winner.
Having said all that, this is another big game for the Shockers. This is a Temple team that's still up in the top 5 or 6 in the conference, even though they have lost 3 in a row. So this is a team coming in with that kind of wounded animal mentality, really needing a win. The Shockers are trying to build on a couple of exhilarating wins here against Tulsa and a totally improbable win Wednesday night at East Carolina.
You know, I told my sons when we were chatting about the game that win, you had a once-in-a-lifetime shot by Giles to put it into overtime, once in a lifetime. And then he made another once-in-a-lifetime shot to put it into the second overtime. And you wonder, have they used up all their good luck, or maybe destiny is on their side? I don't know, and I prefer the latter, so hopefully that's the way it plays out.
Ian Lehman, who's part of the coaching staff, looked up some metrics on stuff, and those 2 situations, down under 20 seconds, down 4, and then down 2 with the other team in possession with 5 seconds, both had less than an 8% chance of winning based on all the games that they've charted over the years.
Well, darn it, Wichita State deserves a couple of those breaks also, and they certainly got them. It was the most exhilarating game in all the years that we have been together and that I've listened to the Shocker games. The most exhilarating finish, I think, or one of, that I've ever heard.
And again, my word has been improbable, because it just, you think in either one of those situations,
right,
you're not very likely to win, and yet somehow it happened. When we're taking our comments both on X and by phone, we kind of start out with Patricia, who said, speaking of amazing, that game against ECU, way to never give up against a team that wouldn't quit. Congrats to TJ for stepping up his game. Did I see that Valencia is playing again? How will that change our game plan? No, Jarrett Valencia is not playing. He's out for the year. As far as TJ, you know, we felt like TJ was really coming on, and then he had that concussion against Rice, and it took a while for him to get back into the groove. But the other night, I said this facetiously, but it's how it felt. I said to him after the game, congratulations on leading Heights to another state title, because it was like he was back playing against high school kids.
When you've got a guy like that can catch, can pass, can take the ball to the hoop, and he's playing against his own defense for quite a bit of the time, he's going to have his way with them from up there, and he certainly did do that, and they couldn't adjust to him. He was too big, too strong, and too quick, and they just couldn't handle him.
And Patricia, thank you for all the kind comments, and my wife very especially appreciated you including her in those comments. I just wanted to let you know that. I appreciate the comments that Coach Mills has had over the last few days, and we'll talk with him in a little bit. And we've got thoughts from Al, who says, in addition to the Stallworth statue in front of the Roundhouse, there need to be 2 additions, Xavier McDaniel and Mike Kennedy with a headset on.
That's
now,
great.
As much as I appreciate that, no, not me. No, that doesn't belong. He also asked, if there was no Dave Dahl, what kind of Mike Kennedy would they be honoring today? A much reduced one. I mean,
hardly.
Dave has been so much a part of all this for so long. And here's one of the things that I want people to understand. I've worked with a number of really good people over the years, and Dave, by far the longest. Dave's been with me since the beginning, and I don't know if people realize, if I did the games by myself, I mean, I'll do a good job, but I think people get tired of listening to the same voice for 2.5 hours, and then I can't see everything that happens, and that's what Dave and Bob and the other people I've worked with add. And plus the other thing is, I am not just necessarily a spontaneously funny person. I'm not a Brent Chemnitz who's just off the cuff. And
not many people are.
but working with somebody like Dave, he'll think of things or notice things that just kind of lead us in a direction where we do have some humor once in a while, and hopefully that makes things a little more enjoyable. But Dave has contributed so many of those things that the broadcast would not have been the same without. I have been so blessed to have his participation and friendship for all this time that I wouldn't be the same without it.
Well, first of all, Al, thank you for bringing that up. Secondly, I feel, and I've told my family this many, many times, I feel like I've won the lottery to be able to do what I really love to do with a man that I consider to be the very best ever in the business, and I don't care what level you're talking about. It's been a great joy.
And he just said again, congratulations, thanks for the memories. I am kind of wallowing in memories here tonight. So many people here, former players, and with these championship teams. It's just memories are really special tonight. And then an observation from Patty: $5 bet that both Dave and Bob will tear up during the ceremony.
I wouldn't take that bet because you are 100% correct, and I've done it several times already, and I'm doing it right now. So,
thank you, Patty. We'll take a timeout, come back for some more of your contributions. I don't know if I've even said tonight. People know you can reach us on X at Shocker Voice. You can call the studio at 869-1037, 316-869-1037. Give Phil your question or comment, and he'll send it along to us. So we'll be right back.
The Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Welcome back to the pregame show. Wichita State and Temple meeting here tonight. This hasn't been a great series for the Shockers over the years. They are 6-9 all time against Temple, 6-6 since joining the American, but it was 6-3, and now Temple has won the last 3 games. I don't know what it is about Temple, regardless of the relative strength of the two teams. Since the Shockers have been in this conference, it is always a dogfight with these guys.
Yeah, the games are usually close. Oftentimes they'll go into an extra stanza. And it doesn't make any difference if one team is way ahead in the standings or not. Whatever it is, usually results in a very good basketball game, but not to the Shock's liking the last few outings.
Curtis says, first, congratulations on you being honored tonight in the floor decal honoring you, which was a huge surprise to me and just wonderful. With the 1976, 2006, and 2016 MVC championship teams being honored as well, which conference games from each season do you remember the most fondly? And 75-76, I was not broadcasting the games yet, but I got back to Wichita in January of that year, so I had a chance to attend a few down the stretch. They had a big overtime win over Southern Illinois. That was the other leading contender for the title that year that I remember. And then the heartbreaker against Michigan in the NCAA tournament where Ricky Green hit one at the buzzer.
A miracle shot
by a point. And then that Michigan team went on to finish second in the tournament. They lost in the championship game to that Indiana team that's still the last undefeated NCAA champion. So those
it was a nice run. So
05-06.
Yeah, very talented players. Enjoyed watching them. I was in law school at the time, but I would be able to travel down and see them play several times during the season. I was impressed with the coaching job that took place, and the level of talent was very, very high. And Cheese was just a joy to watch always.
05-06, there were a number of memorable games, but to me the most, we watched Wichita State beat Seton Hall by 20 points in the tournament. And then the next game was Winthrop and Tennessee, and Wichita State would play the winner. And Dave and I watched that game and sat there going, I hope Tennessee wins this. And they were the 2 seed in the region because we thought Winthrop was a tougher matchup. First time I had ever seen or heard of a coach named Greg Marshall. And that was the start of what we all know transpired after that.
They had inferior talent to Tennessee, but they outplayed them the whole game. Tennessee just wore them down.
And the Shockers did get Tennessee.
Yes.
That was certainly a memorable game.
It sure was. And Bruce Pearl was being featured on some little documentary that was taking place. And
ESPN
the camera
was like all access.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And he lapped it up, and he's has a very, very high opinion of himself, but he's been very successful in his life.
You're too kind.
That gave us great joy to win that game for a number of reasons.
Had a question from Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, for the congratulations. What has Kenyon Giles meant to this team, and where do you think we would be if he had not come to WSU? We would be in deep despair. First of all, let me tell you, he is just a terrific young man. I have really enjoyed getting to know him. He's always very upbeat, outgoing, and that just kind of carries over. He is so even keel. He doesn't let things get to him. He can airball one, and the crowd's on him, and he just smiles. And ultimate confidence. I mean, nobody makes some of the shots he's made without just having great, not arrogance, but just tremendous confidence, knowing what he's capable of doing.
One of the great players ever to put on a Shocker uniform. And I have a quick story to tell, David. A quick story to tell, and that is a friend of ours, Gary Streepy, was on a flight coming into Wichita, and he was with a guy about his height, about 5'10", that was coming to Wichita for a visit. And Gary Streepy said, "What's your name? And are you being recruited? And you're not particularly big. What's your skill?" And he said, I love to play basketball." And Gary said to him, "Well, can you shoot the three-point shot?" And he said, he looked at me and said, "Yes, I can." And that was Kenyon Giles, and the answer to this day is still yes, he can.
Thank you to everyone. With a lot of these messages to X and so forth are just complimentary congratulations. Thank you all very, very much. And we are really, truly out of time. Not for that reason, but we just are. And Paul Mills is coming up next as we continue the pregame show. The Shockers and Temple coming up at the top of the hour.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Head coach Paul Mills joins us before today's game with Temple here at Charles Koch Arena. Only meeting with the Owls this year, Coach, and it's a little odd, I'm sure, preparing for a team at this stage of the season that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that's going to happen now, and it's going to happen next week, too, when we play UTSA. But I'm glad we get to play in Wichita rather than Philadelphia to have had enough trips to the East Coast. But, good team. Obviously, they're a top 5 team in the league, and up until a week ago, they were ahead of us. And everybody's battling for seeding right now, but just have tremendous guard play, more than capable in regards to their interior play. And we need to be able to get out to a really good start just because we need to set the tone and do a good job there and really let those guys know that we're here to defend as best as we possibly can because they just have a dynamic guards.
You just faced a team that had 3 really capable scorers, and this team is that and maybe even a fourth at times.
Yeah, I agree. Darian Ford at 18 a game is, presents a number of problems. And then, Gavin Griffiths was the first week that we had conference, he was the player of the week, and at 6'7", he can really shoot the basketball. And then Aiden Tobiasen, also on the wing, does a phenomenal job. And if he gets hot and that match gets lit. It's one of those fires that's hard to put out. And then Jordan Mason. And so they have 4 guys there who all average double figures. And, that's just to have 4 guys who all average double figures, who do a phenomenal job of just navigating the court. And then they bring in a 4th guy off the bench who in Messiah Gilliard, who can really shoot the ball. So just there's a lot to pay attention to in regards to their personnel.
Anything in style that stands out at either end?
No, I mean they're solid, right? They just don't turn the ball over. They do not foul. They get fouled at a really high level, and they convert those free throw opportunities. But I would tell you that I know that people think they're undersized just because they're at 6'8", 6'9" in the front court. But I think those guys more than hold their own in regards to being disruptive. But they do a really good job of getting to the free throw line and then preventing you from getting there.
You would think, coming off, if anything, maybe an improbable win on Wednesday night, that your guys are feeling a little something special now as we go down the stretch.
Yeah, and again, a win like that, you're trying to, you need to play at home, in my opinion, going back on the road. I think you have a lot of confidence, but we haven't done much, as you know, we were getting back at 3:30 in the morning the other day, and so that Thursday, I wasn't able to do much yesterday. Just wanted to make sure we had enough juice for today. So just being dialed in on the personnel, and they're not going to be complicated in regards to what they do, but pick and roll defense will play a huge part, and then physicality. I would tell you those 2 things. And if we can make sure we're being physical, because if we can be physical, we can rebound. And if our pick and roll defense is up to par, I feel like we're going to be in a good position to be in contention for this game.
Coach, thank you, and I have to say, thank you for your contributions to making this a special night for me.
Well, Mike, we're all wearing shirts with your silhouette on it, and it's, I told somebody, one of the guys last week, I said, for those of you who were born in the last century, and it's hard to really imagine there's so many of them nowadays as we hit the 26th year of this, but your establishment, and I just thank you for, not only are you a professional and you've been sensitive because these first 2 years were a little rough, and you've been sensitive, but you've been a gentleman through this whole process and an extreme pro, and people swear by you, and it's not hard to figure out why. So thank you for all you've done for, specifically for these players and just elevating their stories.
Thank you, and cherry on tops to get one tonight.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Coach.
So,
the Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Welcome back to Koch Arena. The Shockers back on the floor. We are moments away from tip-off. And before we get there, Dave has the keys to the game. Brought to you by Odyssey. Odyssey Wichita is the proud broadcast partner of Shocker basketball. Listen live on the free Odyssey app.
Thank you, Michael, very much. And once again, congratulations on this very special night for you. The first key. WSU has run into some headwinds at the free throw line, and they need to win that battle tonight if they're going to win this basketball game. The Owls are the 3rd most accurate free throw shooting team in the conference. WSU is dead last. They've shot under 60% from the line in 9 of their last 10 ball games. They need to equalize that if they're going to have a chance tonight. The second key, the Shockers defense has to answer the bell again tonight to give them the best chance for a win. The Shocks are 16-2 when they outshoot their opponents. Temple is 10-2 when they shoot better than their opponents do. Well, who are the Owls that must be kept in check? First, there's Darian Ford, a 6'3", 200-pound senior, averages 18 a game. That's 4th in the conference, and 21.2 per game in 5 of his last 6, and he's a heck of a free throw shooter. Then there's Aiden Tobiasen, a 6'5", 200-pound sophomore, really has come into his own this year. He's averaging 14.7 per game. Then Jordan Mason, a 6'3", 200-pound senior, is throwing in 16 a game in 3 of his last 4. He averages 12 a game on the season. And Gavin Griffiths, a 6'7", 200-pound junior, rounds out at 10.5 points per game, and he's the leading rebounder on the team at 5'1". The third key, one of the single most predictive stats that point to a Shocker win is points in the paint. WSU is 4-6 when the other team gets more points in the paint. But the Shocks have won just about every one of their games when they score more points in the paint. So let's keep an eye on that stat. The fourth key, performance on the outer limits will be an important part of the recipe today. The Shockers are the fourth most accurate three-point shooting team in the conference, but the Owls are a close fifth. WSU is 13-3 when they shoot a higher three-point percentage. They need to throw in a few more long bombs if they're going to win this ball game tonight. The fifth key, the Shocks are the best rebounding team in the conference, but they seem to have lost their swagger lately. They're a minus 1.4 rebounds per game in 5 of their last 6. And Temple, usually a pretty good rebounding team, has been out-rebounded just one time in the last 5. Wichita State needs to lower the boom on the glass tonight. And a sixth key, being careful with the ball is always a good tonic for success. When WSU loses the points off turnovers, it has been disastrous. Keep an eye on that stat for a win tonight for the Shocks.
Temple, a team that only averages 9 turnovers a game. They only force about 10, and the Shockers kind of the same way, except it's just one higher. They average 10, only force 11, so both teams typically have a margin of about 1 a game. I just think if that gets skewed very large in one way or the other, it's going to be a big advantage for them.
Yeah, and what happens is you can get off on runs and the momentum shifts, and the game can be decided pretty early in about a 5 or a 6 minute segment. So Wichita State needs to really take care of that.
All right, the Shockers and the Owls. By the way, if you are not aware of this, there are 4 Division I programs in the country whose nickname is Owls. 3 of them are in the American Conference, and Temple is one of those. The Shockers and the Owls coming up very shortly from Koch Arena. Big game for both teams in this very tight American Conference race, and we'll be right back.
Are you ready? Wichita State men's basketball is on the air. Coming to you live from Charles Koch Arena. It's the voice of the Shockers, Mike Kennedy and Dave Dahl. This is the Shocker Nation. Anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Your home for Shocker basketball is on the home for Wichita's greatest hits. 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Welcome back to Koch Arena. Tonight's matchup between Wichita State and Temple. The Owls under third-year head coach Adam Fisher, 15-11 overall, 7-6 in the American. The starting lineups presented by Fidelity Bank. Together we move bravely onward. Fidelity Bank. For the Owls, Gavin Griffiths, a 6'7 junior from Simsbury, Connecticut, averaging 10.5 points per game, just over 5 rebounds per game, and 2 block shots per game. Also in their starting lineup tonight is Jemai Felt, 6'9", 205, a sophomore from Boston, averages 3.7 points per game. Darian Ford is their leading scorer. He's a 6'3 senior, transfer from Arkansas State. He is averaging an even 18 points per game, shoots 83.5% from the free throw line. Hayden Tobiasen is a 6'4 sophomore from Wilmington, Delaware. Last year as a freshman, averaged 4.8 points per game. This year, add a 10 to that total, 14.7 points per game. Another outstanding free throw shooter at 80%. And Jordan Mason is a 6'3 senior from San Antonio. Previous stops at Texas State and Illinois Chicago. And he is another double-figure scorer at 12 points per game. The Owls averaging 74.5 points, giving up 70.7. They're one of the nation's best three-point percentage defensive teams at 31.4%. But overall field goal percentage, they give up 44.2.
That's a nice touch.
Dylan Battie just came over here, gave me a fist bump. Here comes Karan Boyd. And big night for Dylan Battie. He's playing against the school where he played a year ago. Was a teammate of some of these guys. Didn't get much time last year, but I'm sure he's anxious to show them how much he's improved tonight.
Absolutely. He's got a lot to prove, and he certainly has done it many times already this season.
Shockers being introduced, and all of them coming by to give me a fist bump, which I appreciate so much. Karan Boyd, 6'6" senior from Concord, North Carolina, 11.1 points per game. Kenyon Giles, 5'10" senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. He is averaging 18.8 points per game. Dylan Battie, 6'8" sophomore from Dallas, 6.2 points per game. Michael Gray Jr., 6'1" senior from Fredericksburg, Virginia, 8.7 points per game. And Emmanuel Okorafor, 6'10" senior from Lagos, Nigeria, 5.9 points per game. The Shockers averaging almost 78 points per game, outscoring their opponents by 7 points per game. They also are an excellent three-point defensive team, 305, but their overall field goal percentage defense, 426, but 2% better than Temple's, and maybe that will be a factor tonight.
Well, and teams have shot 50.5% from the field against them in 2 of their last 3. My question is this. Every time somebody reports into the game for the Shockers, are they going to come over and give you a fist bump? My goodness.
That is so
all
cool.
The accolades.
Wichita's family-owned and operated Doodah Diner is proud to support Shocker athletics. And tonight's officials are Josué Nueves, Shane Land, and Hunter Ellett. Want to mention that Adam Fisher, Temple's coach, came over before the game and congratulated me on my career. It's quite a gesture. I don't know if I've ever had anything like that happen before.
The epitome of professionalism, really, on his part. I was impressed with that.
Almost ready to go. It will be a Okorafor jumping center. Temple not real big inside, but Paul Mills mentioned in his pregame interview, he feels like these guys hold their own defensively and on the boards, even though they don't have that 6'10", 6'11".
They're okay, but in a number of their losses, they've been vulnerable inside, and I think Wichita State's going to be able to take advantage of that.
Ready to tip it off, and the opening tip kind of evenly contested, ends up in the hands of Temple. And Jordan Mason brings it into the front court. Kenyon Giles guarding him. Really good crowd here tonight, the best crowd of the year. Left wing Griffiths driving to the left block, throws it across court, is deflected. 3 from the corner is way short, rebounded by Michael Gray. That was Aiden Tobiasen with the shot. Gray into the front court, swings toward the left wing, drives hard down to the left baseline. Keeps his dribble, throws it out front to Battie, hands it off to Kenyon Giles at the top of the arc, trying to get by the defender, spinning on the dribble, throws it on the left wing to Gray. Michael drives it toward the keyhole, spins into the lane, drops it off to Okorafor, 8 to shoot. Whirls in the lane, gets right in there and dunks it with both hands.
Just very athletic move. He had a defender collapsing on him. He beat his own defender down and very calmly jams it through.
I thought he was going to shoot a little jump hook. He just took another step and threw it down with both hands. Mason driving the lane, throws up a floater and gets it. And Jordan Mason gets the first 2 on the board for Temple, and the fans who were standing until the other team scored will settle in for a moment.
They practice those floaters pregame, Mike. I've never seen a team do that, and all the players practice the floater.
Left wing Karan Boyd lobs inside to Okorafor. Back to the basket, wheels under, got position, reverse, no good, and a foul on Temple.
I think Wichita State's going to be able to take advantage of them inside all night.
Jemai Felt trying to guard him is 6'9", but he only weighs 205 pounds. E-Man's at 235, and he'll shoot 2 free throws. He had not been to the line for several games, in fact, 4 games, and then went 0 for 2 against East Carolina on Wednesday, but he is at almost 71% for the season. First one is up. A little short.
You know, before that 0 for 2 and now 0 for 3 in the last 6 games, he was 14 of 18 for almost 78% in his previous 8.
So much improved over his entire previous career. In 50 career games at Louisville and Seton Hall, under 47%. That one is good. He's got the first 3 points for Wichita State. The Shockers lead 3-2. Mason will bring it up for Temple. Standing dribble out near the timeline. Gets a ball screen from Felt. Drives into the lane. Under deep. Turnaround jumper. Bounces a little short. It made a good strong post up, but missed the shot. Kenyon Giles with the rebound. Into the front court crossover dribble. Open 3. Nope. Off the back Rebound Temple. Tobiasen cleared it quickly up court to Griffiths. Griffiths driving. Throws up a hook, and it's blocked out of bounds by Battie, but Dillon's going to be called for a little bit of an arm bar in the back as he drove in there, and that'll be his first.
Now tell me this, Mr. Kennedy, does Gavin Griffiths remind you of Carl Papke a little bit?
He did the look. Reminds me of Buddy Holly a little
yes,
bit.
Yes, very much.
That look. So if you can imagine the dark, kind of heavy glasses.
The long, slender build.
The free throw is short.
They list him at 200 pounds. He's going to have to go out for dinner a couple more times to add a few pounds to get him up to 200. But he's an athletic player, and you know what, Mike? It comes and goes for him. He can be very hot.
Second one was an air ball, and the Shockers will take over. And he has played in 24 games, 30 minutes a game, and had only shot 16 free throws in 24 games, making 69%.
4 for 4 from the line in his last 9 games, so he just is unfamiliar with it.
Giles at the top, pulls back, fires, short, rebound to Okorafor, gets pushed out of there, but clears it back out front to Giles. Offensive rebound for Okorafor. Giles drives right, gets in the keyhole area, fall back 15-footer. That one's good. First two for Kenyon Giles. He just missed one. That will not deter him. And the Shockers lead 5-2.
Yeah, Giles is 25.5 points per game in 4 of his last 5. Wouldn't it be nice to see that kind of an output tonight?
Felt dribbles toward the right wing, hands it off to Ford, and he pulled it back a little bit. Now drives hard, fall away, air ball, rebounded by Felt. Felt spinning under there. Got Okorafor off his feet and lays it in. Nice little move underneath by Jemai Felt.
It all started with a nice offensive rebound by Felt, and he was in position to take it under for the basket.
Shockers up 5-4. Michael Gray spinning, stumbled a little bit, gets down to the right block, throws it out on the wing to Battie. Dillon looking to drive it.
He can
now
drive
backing
it.
Down Griffiths. Griffiths poked it away. Battie recovered out to Gray. 10 to shoot. Over to Kenyon Giles. One-on-one against Darian Ford. Has a little ball screen from Okorafor. Works to the left wing. Drives deep. Throws up a floater. Missed it. Rebound Okorafor. Back up. Missed that. Rebound Battie comes out of there with it. Tries to save it, but Griffiths comes up with it and passes it up court to Mason for Temple. Mason dribbling right wing. Comes off the screen at the top. Cuts back the other way. Looked at the three. Didn't shoot it. Gives it over to Griffiths. Griffiths hands to Tobiasen, who's going to bring it way back out front. Dribbles to the right, gives it over to Ford. Ford one-on-one against the Shockers' best defender, Karan Boyd. Spinning in the lane, forced it up. It rolls out, tipped up and grabbed by Okorafor, who's been dominant on the boards at both ends.
Yeah, his timing is impeccable, and he gets up off his feet quickly.
Giles near the left wing, out front to Michael Gray. Off an Okorafor screen, couldn't get around it. Back out front to Giles. Paul Mills resetting the offense a little bit. Battie's going to come out top and set a screen. Giles drives right. Drives deeper on the right. Fallback jumper. Good. Another fall away by Kenyon Giles. He shoots those better than anybody I have ever seen.
And what we're seeing tonight is Temple is guarding him straight up, one-on-one, and they're not coming over to help him out. So Giles should be able to go one-on-one and have a pretty good outing tonight.
Griffiths going to launch a three for left wing. Good. Now Griffiths has been in a horrible shooting slump. The last 6 games, 5 of 37 from 3, so that's a big start for him.
2 of 28, 7% in 5 of his last 6. Oh!
The ball went inside to Battie, comes loose. Tobiasen comes over it down to the other end, scoops up a drive, wouldn't go. Griffiths trying to follow it, missed it. Michael Gray comes out of there with the rebound. Griffiths tried to dunk the follow, but missed that. Gray into the lane, stumbled, saves it out front to Kenyon Giles. It is 7-7. Not quite 5 minutes gone. Giles down low, another fall away and another bucket. About 12 feet out on the right baseline. He's hit 3 fall-away jumpers, has an early 6, and the Shockers lead 9-7. He just looked over this way and nodded to everybody.
We know. We've seen it. We know.
Mason to Tobiasen, back to Mason. Left half of the floor, above the arc. Throws it right in the middle to Griffiths, right back to Mason. Shot clock at 11. Mason off a screen by Felt. Open free throw line jumper. That was a free throw. And connection by Mason, who's got 4.
Yeah, once Giles got screened, Mike, nobody came over to help out. Very easy shot.
Game tied at 9. Gray gives it off to Karan Boyd. Dribble handoff to Kenyon Giles. High post right elbow to Okorafor. One dribble, hands it off to Boyd. Karan right at the top. Left wing Giles, open three, coming off a screen, missed it short, rebound batted around, out of bounds, last touch by Temple. Wichita State will keep it, and that will get us to the under 16. 14-10 to go in the first half. Wichita State 9, Temple 9.
You're listening to Shocker Men's Basketball with Mike Kennedy and Dave Dahl, live from Koch Arena on the home of Wichita's greatest hits, 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Game's tied at 9, and the early shooting's almost identical. Wichita State is 4 of 9 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, but 1 of 2 from the free throw line, while Temple got its extra point on a made three-pointer. They are 4 of 9 from the field, the same as the Shockers, 1 of 2 from 3, 0 for 2 from the line. Wichita State 9-2 on the boards, 2 turnovers to none for Temple, so that's kind of balanced out the possessions. Wichita State has 4 offensive rebounds to 1, but second chance points are even at 2-2. Temple scored on its only offensive rebound.
Yeah, and you had Okorafor scoring the first basket of the game, and then he immediately makes a free throw, and since then it's been all Kenyon Giles. Kenyon's been the only player to have taken a shot for WSU since Okorafor scored. As you said, he's 3 of 7. I really like the fact that the Shockers are dominating on the boards 9-2, and Wichita State, one of the strongest offensive rebounding teams in the country, has 4 offensive rebounds already on 5 missed shots.
Kenyon Giles 0 for 2 from 3. Maybe I can negative talk him into something here. The last 8 games, he's only shooting 28.4% from 3. Michael Gray on the right wing, taking in the lane, back to the basket, fall away from about 10 feet, in and out, all the way around and came out. Rebound Temple, and Darian Ford brings it up across the timeline. Ayuba Bryant is in the lineup now for Temple. Ford throws one up the left side of the lane and hits, and he puts Temple up by 2. Ford, a left-handed shooter from along the left side of the lane about 10 feet out.
It takes you a couple trips down the court to get used to the fact that he's a lefty.
Dribble weave out front. Giles has it now, gets a step on Ford, drives in the lane, pull up 12-footer way short, and falls loose on the floor. Shockers fighting for it, but it's cleared by Temple's Babatunde Duradola, 6'8 sophomore, who's one of their 2 returning regulars from last year. Mason way out front beyond the top of the arc. Temple with the ball up 2. Ball at the right elbow to Bryant at the top. Duradola. Ford launches a 3 and hits. And Ford on the season 36.4%, so very capable.
Yeah, 9 of 16, 56% in 3 of his last 4 ball games.
Temple by 5, 14-9. Shocker possession. Kenyon Giles way out front with it, guarded by Ford. Left wing to TJ Williams, who just came in along with Will Berg. Out top to Boyd. Gets it right wing to Michael Gray. They're looking to Berg. Now bounce to Williams at the high post. Going to drive it, spinning in the lane, up with the left-hander, and it bounces in. Looked like it was just a little hard, but it danced on the rim and went down.
You've got 2 guys, Williams and Boyd, who are capable of taking their men one-on-one. This team's not going to double you up, or they haven't so far, so it'd be interesting to see if the Shocks do more of that.
Aiden Tobiasen, free throw line jumper, contested. It's short, bounces around, grabbed by Giles along the baseline. He'll bring it up the floor, right in the middle to Williams. TJ sees an aisle to the basket, goes in strong, and flips it in.
Mike, he looks like he's 7'2" when he goes in for that drive. Releases it way above the rim. Very athletic. TJ
Williams scoring on each of his first 2 shots, coming off a career-high 27 against East Carolina on Wednesday night. Tobiasen left wing, squares up but didn't shoot it. Now dribbles down the left side, takes it in the lane, tries to scoop one up over Berg and gets it, and a foul on Will Berg. Possible 3-point play for Aiden Tobiasen.
Yeah, he got too deep, and Berg was forced to foul him.
We've got a timeout, 11:48 to go in the first half, and it is Temple 16, Wichita State 13.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
11:48 to go in the first half, and Temple leading Wichita State 16-13. The Owls have made 7 of 13 shots and 2 of 3 from 3. The Shockers 6 of 13, 0 for 2 from 3. and 1 of 2 from the line. Leading Temple, Darian Ford with 5, but Jordan Mason has 4, Gavin Griffiths with 3. For the Shockers, Kenyon Giles has taken 8 of their 13 shots, connected on 3 for 6 points, and TJ Williams just came off the bench and scored twice on drives to the baskets. The first 2 times he touched it, he's got 4.
And he'll be able to continue that, Mike, I think. It's an interesting thing, an oddity, really. Temple has shot between 43 and 44.6% from the field in 7 of their last 8 ball games. Every game, it's between 43 and 44.6%. If Wichita State can hold them right down into the lower 40s, they've got a very good chance of winning this ball game.
Coming up, we've got a free throw attempt coming for Aiden Tobias, and he was fouled on a drive to the basket, which he made, so he's got a chance to expand Temple's lead to 4. They had actually an early 5-point lead, and then the Shockers cut that back to 1. So Temple is right there.
Yeah, Temple's really hurting a little bit, Mike. They've lost 3 in a row. About just a little less than 2 weeks ago, they were solidly in second place. And now they're mired in with all the teams that have lost 5 or 6 or 7 games, and they're really hungry for another win.
Well, here's Tobiasen at the free throw line. Really good free throw shooter. 80% on the year. Drains that one. Those are his first 3 points on that 3-point play, and he's going to get a breather as Messiah Gilliard checks into the game. 6'3" senior from Brooklyn, a transfer from Manhattan, and he averages 6.1 points per game. Dre Kendall in the Shocker lineup brings it into the front court, left wing to Karan Boyd. Looking to the block to Berg, gets it in there, he's having his jersey pulled.
Here comes some help on him.
Putting it on the floor, trying to maneuver, and he dribbles into a double team, managed to save it, threw it in the lane for Boyd. It's deflected out of bounds by Temple.
That pass had virtually no chance of making it, but Berg had to get rid of the ball because he was doubled up.
He's going to have to recognize that double team coming and get rid of it sooner. He was fortunate to retain that.
Though that's the first double that we've seen thus far this evening.
Kendall to play it in, left corner to Giles, penetrates in the lane for Berg, out front to Williams, over to Kendall, 7 to shoot. Going to have to make a play, drives the left side, spins, gets a shot up and draws the foul. And a little bit of acting may have come into play there, but Ayuba Bryant Jr. will get the foul call, and Dre Kendall will shoot 2.
Well, give him an Academy Award, for heaven's sakes. And this is one of the Shockers' better free throw shooters, 42 for 52. Almost 81% from the line in 21 of his last 22 games.
Hasn't been there for a while, though. He has not shot any in the last 3 games. Knocks that one down. That makes it 17-14, and Dre can cut it to 2 here.
You know, this is the first time in 4 games that Dre has even scored. So it's good to see him get on the board.
11-20, still to go in the first half. That free throw, perfect. So the Shockers have started off 3 for 4 from the line. That's promising, and Temple possession with the Owls leading 17-15. Ford gives it over to Jordan Mason. He will bring it up. Guarded by Kendall. Gets across the timeline, and Kendall got a hand on it. Just deflected it out of bounds, but almost stole that one. Temple will play it in from the left sideline. They still have 21 on the shot clock. Right now they have Griffiths, Duradola, Mason, Ford. Ford has it left wing. Feeds it way out front to Mason. Off a screen, drives left. Spins on the left side of the lane, trying to muscle up. Dre Kendall has to kind of force it, missed it badly. Hit the backboard, I don't think it hit the rim. Will Berg with the rebound, hands it off to Kenyon Giles. Giles off a Berg screen, couldn't get a shot away. Drives right, goes up for 3, in and out. And the rebound to Temple. Gilliard, foul. And it's in this end, so it's going to stay down here. Foul on Temple. Gilliard got the rebound, but it's going to go back to the Shockers.
Temple is 8th in the conference in rebounding margin. Wichita State is 1st. Wichita State should be able to dominate them on the boards, and you like to see, you don't want them to miss too many shots, but you love to see those offensive rebounds.
Foul was on Gilliard for pushing off to get that rebound. Dre Kendall to play it in. Lobs it way out to Will Berg, who chases it down near the timeline, gives it back to Dre Kendall. Left wing it goes to Boyd. Down the block, Berg. Breaking to the ball was
very
open.
Quick one.
Steps through, tried to get a shot up, and a foul on Duradola, who's arguing that Will fouled him, but Babatunde Duradola picks up his first foul, and Will Berg to the line for 2.
Well, he struggled a little bit in 4 of his last 5 ball games, 12 of 26 for 46.2%. But for most of the early part of the season, Will Berg was almost automatic at the free throw line, and he's
puts that one up, gets it. He was 2 for 2 in the last game at East Carolina. Small sample size, but nevertheless.
Still good. Well, and he's made more free throws than anybody on this ball club. He's made 70 free throws, now 71 on the season.
That cut the lead to 1. This could tie it. That free throw was Will Berg's first point of the night. That one spins through. Nice touch.
Yeah, it looks so good when he releases. He's been in double figures 13 times this season. Each of the last 3 ball games, Berg has contributed double-figure points.
Game tied at 19. Ball on the left wing to Gilliard. Hands it off to Tobiasen. Back out front to Ford. Ford guarded by Karan Boyd. Just shoved him back out to Griffiths. Griffiths off a screen to the right wing. Drives back the other way. Fall away. Way short. Air ball. Rebounded by Temple. That follow was an air ball. And the rebound to Wichita State. T.J. Williams into the front court, driving it, gets in the lane, throws under to Berg, wheels in there, a little jump hook, bounces out, and the rebound to Temple. Boy, right in there close, but a little awkward position for him, didn't quite get the touch on it. Ford down the right side of the lane, almost did have it stolen. T.J. Williams reached out and took it right out of his hands, and the Shockers have it back.
His quickness adds such a dimension to his skill level.
Giles gives it at the top to Berg. One dribble, left wing Boyd. 3 by Karan. Bounces off the back, and Williams up to get the rebound. Out to Kendall, out to Giles. Started right, tries to cut back left. Spinning at the top, 15-footer. Bounces off hard, rebound to Biason for Temple. So the Owls have it back. Right corner, Griffiths back up on the right wing to Tobiasen. Crossover dribble, takes in the lane, challenges Berg, and gets it.
That's
ball bounced in off the back.
Yeah, really physical play. Took it right at Berg. Berg didn't have a chance to really collect himself, and Berg wasn't able to get off his feet. Nice move.
5 for Aiden Tobiasen. Just under 9 minutes to go in the first half. Temple with a 2-point lead. Kendall right wing to Karan Boyd. Looking in. And gives it out front to Kenyon Giles. Giles left wing to Kendall. Drives it, gets in the lane, steps through, turnaround, good. About an 8-footer right in the middle of the lane.
What a sweet touch by Kendall. He's so quick, Mike, they can't stay on him. He's going to get his shot in there. It's just a matter of whether he's connecting.
Into the front court, Darian Ford. Game tied at 19. Tobiasen comes out front to get it. Drives it. Pull up, about a 12-footer, way off the mark. Hit the other side of the backboard. Rebound, Will Berg. T.J. Williams bringing it up the floor. Driving through traffic. Got ball stripped, but it's out front to Giles. Thought about it, into the lane. Tried to bounce it underneath, and pass got deflected away and picked up by Griffiths for Temple.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Tough to connect on that pass.
Temple brings it back into the front court. Game tied at 19. Darian Ford dribbles left, now drives hard to the left side of the lane. Brought it back out front. Gilliard for 3. Bounces off the back, and the rebound to T.J. Williams, who was up to snatch it. Actually, there was nothing but Shockers under to rebound that time.
In his last several games, Williams has just been off the charts good. Very physical, very quick.
Shocker possession. Giles off of Williams' screen, dribbles to the right wing, throws it back to TJ. He's going to slice through the traffic. Ball deflected out of bounds. Tell you what, he's taken contact a couple of times. He didn't get a call. The ball will stay with Wichita State. 11 seconds on the shot clock. 7:28 to go in the first half. And it is Wichita State 19, Temple 19.
The Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Game tied at 19. Temple shooting it a little better. 8 of 19, 42%, and 2 of 4 from 3. Wichita State, 7 of 18. That is 39%. 0 for 4 from 3. But Temple, which outscores its opponents by 4 points per game from the line, is only 1 of 3 from the line tonight. Wichita State, 5 for 6. So the Shockers have that 4-point free throw advantage.
We thought that would be a real factor. I love the fact that Wichita State is a +9 on the boards. The Shockers haven't rebounded particularly well in 4 of their last 5 ball games. It's kind of a coming out party. And I think one of the players that's doing a really good job for them is Williams for the second game in a row. He's playing quite well.
The one thing about that statistic, the Shockers haven't been quite as productive as they might have been. 6 offensive rebounds to 2, but they've only outscored Temple 4-2 on second chance points. So not getting enough putbacks off of that offensive rebounding. And the Shockers rank 4th in the nation this week in offensive rebounding.
Yeah, and what they're going to have to do is start hitting pay dirt on some of those three-point shots as well, Mike. They can't go for long periods of time and multiple games without scoring threes. They've only shot 20% from the three-point stripe in their last 3 ball games, and they're averaging just over 5 three-pointers made per game in their last 5. When it gets down to championship time where you've really got to play at your very best, you need to get at least 9 or 10 three-pointers if you're going to make a difference.
Possession to Wichita State. T.J. Williams on a drive to the basket had the ball batted away out of bounds. The Shockers will inbound under their basket. Brian Amunique is now in the Shocker lineup. And left corner gets it. A 3 by Brian. No good, but he was fouled on the 3-point shot by Gavin Griffiths.
Heaven's sakes. What?
I don't think that's probably what Adam Fisher said. But
no, but Amunique was recruited and is inserted in the lineup for one purpose, and that's to shoot three-point baskets, 47% from the three-point stripe in 6 of his last 7. But let's see about the free throw line.
First one's up, bounces too hard. He was 1 for 2 from the line against South Florida in the game here. The second meeting, that is his only free throw attempts in the last 19 games. That one is good. Amunique for the season coming into this one had shot 11 free throws and had made 7 for about 64%. Missed that one. And rebound, Okorafor put it up, it bounces out. Battie actually got his hands on the rebound initially, it got hit hard from the side and got knocked out. Okorafor grabbed it, was a little bit off balance, just trying to shoot it in one motion, and it bounced away. Shockers up a point, though, 20-19. Jordan Mason works off a screen into the free throw circle, puts up a 15-footer, missed it off the back. Temple player ends up on the floor, and they're going to hold Wichita State responsible. And it was Jemai Felt who ended up on the deck. Fouls on Emmanuel Okorafor, his first and the team's third. Ball out of bounds to Temple under their own basket. Mason to play it in. Got it into Felt, left side of the lane, dribbles out of there a little bit, throws it out front to Tobiasen. Tobiasen guarded right now by Amunique, crossover dribble, then throws it out front. Griffiths thought about the 3, drives the lane, throws it up on the move, and it rolls in. It spun, looked like it was going to bounce off the opposite side, and then fell back in the basket, and Griffiths now with 5.
Yeah, he's very sinewy, a quick first step, and he gets up nice and high, releases it close to the rim.
Michael Gray right into the key. Tried to throw it in the lane, and the intended receiver, Okorafor, got tripped, but no foul is called. And you can hear the boos building, and Paul Mills yelling at the officials. He got tripped by a Temple player, and that's why he was unable to catch the ball. That is the Shockers' 4th turnover. Mason bringing it up for the Owls, who lead 21-20. Jordan Mason with a screen from Felt. Dribbles left, dribbles deep down the left side of the lane. They're going to call a foul on the dribble.
Really? Goodness.
It's going to be on Dre Kendall. That'll be his first, team's 4th. This was not in the act of shooting. Temple will inbound. And Darian Ford checks back in the lineup as Gilliard goes out.
And there was some contact without a doubt, but the ball handler wasn't deterred in the least bit.
Ball comes in to Felt out on the left wing to Tobiasen. Amunique up on him. Tobiasen dribbles the top, launches a jumper.
Short.
Almost an air ball. Barely hit the front of the rim. Another rebound for Okorafor. Quicklet pass to Mike Gray. Brings it into the front court. Drives right. Crosses over. Gets in the lane. Over to Battie. In close. Goes up inside. Missed it. Rebound to Okorafor. Dunked with both hands.
Second stanza of that performance. Okorafor earlier in the ball game gets a slam dunk. Now he pulls off the duplicate there.
E-Man with 5. The Shockers lead 22-21. 5:43 to go in the first half. Ford left side of the floor above the arc. Brings it to the middle. Penetrating down the lane. Throws it up on the run and got it. Just a little hesitation move. A little floater by Darian Ford, who's got 7. Temple back in front by a point. Michael Gray, cross-court right wing to Battie. Hands it off to Kendall. Dre at the high post to Okorafor. Fakes a handoff. Now gives it to Amunique. And the ball knocked out of his hands, but he saves it to Kendall. Back left side to Gray. Down off the left block to Okorafor. Squared up on Felt. Now backing him in. Griffiths comes on a double team and stole it. And Gavin Griffiths up the other way, waits for his teammates, gives it out front to Tobiasen, over to Mason. Mason drives it, and they're going to call a foul. And it's going to be on the screen, I believe, on Temple, or is it on Battie?
It is, yeah.
Battie trying to fight through the screen. He's going to be called for too much contact. That'll be his second foul, 15th foul. And he'll go out. T.J. Williams back in. Will Berg is back in for Okorafor, and Dre Kendall checks out, and Kenyon Giles is back in. Exactly 5 minutes to go in the first half. Temple leads 23-22. Ford dribbles left to the left edge of the key, back the other way, just throws his lead arm into Boyd, dribbles out of traffic, now banging his way in there again, spins, put it up, way short, rebound Berg. Well defended by Boyd.
All right.
He was getting banged with that forearm by Ford. Into line, Williams put it up off the glass and a foul on Temple.
I love the way he just takes it to the basket, Mike. TJ, a good free throw shooter. Earlier in the season, struggled a little bit, starting to pick up some steam again.
That foul is on Gavin Griffiths. That will be his second. First player to pick up 2 for Temple, 7th team foul. This is 2 shots for T.J. Williams, who was 4 for 4 at one point in the East Carolina game, and then just 1 for 4 in the second overtime. That free throw spins off of there. T.J. with 4 points in this one on a couple of field goals. Shockers.
We hope they don't revert.
Now 6 of 10 as a team.
We hope they don't revert to something less than 70%.
Second free throw for T.J. Williams. That's good. So TJ with 5, and this game is tied at 23, 4:40 to go in the first half. Relatively low-scoring game. The Shockers shooting 38%, Temple a little under 42. Darian Ford give it up out front to Ayuba Bryant. He gives it to Mason. Mason off a Bryant screen, drives down the right side of the lane and spins back out to the wing, brings it way back out front, gets a screen from Felt, 9 to shoot. Dribbles left, drives back right, into the lane, turn around, fall away, missed badly. Rebound Temple, put up no good, but a foul on Wichita State. Shockers had 2 men there. Temple won, but the Temple player got it. And it's going to be Will Berg who picks up his second foul.
You know, they've missed some shots just terribly. They've not even come close, and it's difficult for a defender to figure out where to go to get the rebound.
Bang, it comes off the backboard, and you're not positioned for that sometimes. Wow. At the line is Jemai Felt, and he has shot 37 free throws, connecting on 59.5%, and that one is too hard off the back iron. Felt with 2 points on a field goal so far. 6'9", 205, a sophomore from Boston. Last year made 24 starts at Bowling Green, where he averaged 5.7 points per game. Just a 57.5 free throws percent shooter there. That one is good. So Felt makes 1 of 2. He's got 3. He's going to come out, and Duradola will come back in. And for the Shockers, they get Will Berg out with 2 fouls, and Emmanuel Okorafor is right back in. Temple with a 1-point lead, 24-23, 4:12 to go in the first half, and Michael Gray walks it into the front court, waiting for his teammates to get set. Finds Williams at the right elbow, down the lane, and something happened off ball before TJ could make a drive to the basket. It's going to be a foul on Temple. Duradola picks up his second foul. That's 8th team foul. This should put the Shockers in the 1-1. It's going to be Okorafor who goes to the line. And now checking in for Temple for the first time, Mohamed Keita, a 7'1" senior from Guinea, who has played previously at St. John's and Tulsa and is now in his second year at Temple.
Shocks have made 2 of their last 5 free throws. Let's see if Okorafor can break that.
He's 1 of 2, makes the first one. He's got 6, and he and Kenyon Giles now share the team lead in scoring with 6 apiece, with T.J. Williams at 5 and Dre Kendall 4. Game tied again, 4:03 to go first half. Second free throw, got them both. So Emmanuel Okorafor with 7. Dre Kendall is in. And Michael Gray will go out. Temple possession with Wichita State up a point. Shockers showing a little bit of full court pressure, kind of token pressure, but now Kendall will get up on Mason, make him work to get it up into the front court. Right side to Ford, out front to Bryant. He gives it to Tobiasen right in the middle. Left side of the floor to Mason, still way out front. Right of the key to Tobiasen, crossover dribble, goes through the lane, kind of fumbled it at a foul called. Williams was there and Giles was there. They're going to call one of them for reaching. It's going to be T.J. Williams, his first 7th team foul, and this should be, I would think, a 1-and-1. We'll see. 3:45 to go in the first half. Well, they'll give 2 shots for a lot of stuff sometimes. 3:45 to go first half. Wichita State 25, Temple 24.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
3:45 to go first half. Close game with Wichita State leading 25-24. The Shockers shooting 38%, Temple 40%. The Shockers, though, getting a lot of free throws. 9 of 13 from the line. That's 69%. And Tulsa just 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Dominance in 2 different categories by each team. Wichita State is out rebounding Temple 20-10. But Temple only has 1 turnover to 5 for Wichita State.
And the equalizer, Mike, is Temple has made 2 3-pointers and 2 more baskets than the Shockers have.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but Steve Kalasinski.
Well, it looks like he's proposing.
Looking like he's proposing. We got a little of everything tonight, folks. Hopefully a Shocker victory comes out of all of this. Right now they're ahead by a point. On that last foul, I certainly thought the foul occurred basically on the floor, on the dribble, but we'll see.
Well, maybe the officials will come over and ask us.
If it'll go for 2 shots or for a 1-and-1. Whatever this is that's taking place is taking a little longer than planned, I think. So, anyway. We are about to get back to action. The Shockers have Boyd, Giles, Williams, Okorafor, and Gray. Muhammad Keita is still in there for Temple. Ayuba Bryant, Aiden Tobiasen, Darian Ford, and Jordan Mason. They're going to put Tobiasen at the line. And a lot of times that's pretty automatic. He is 80% on the year, 1 for 1 tonight. First one up, and I talked him out of it. Short.
Well, Mr. Kennedy, your magic works both ways. Now, he had been 4 of 8 from the line in his last 2 ball games. Maybe he's second-guessing himself just a little bit.
Second one coming. That one's good. So Tobiasen now with 6, and this game is tied again. And it's been tight throughout. 25 all, 3:44 to go first half. Michael Gray into the front court for the Shockers. Lobs to Okorafor out beyond the top of the arc. Takes a handoff, gives it back to Gray. Michael starts right, double team over on the wing to Williams, right corner to Karan Boyd. Back out front to Gray. Wants a screen, works left. Now crosses over on the dribble. He's trying to get it in the post, but couldn't. Williams with 5 to shoot is going to have to make a play. Taking it in deep, ball got knocked out. It'll stay with Wichita State, but with .9 on the shot clock. Now, I thought actually there was maybe a little over 1 when the ball went out, but it ends up at .9. So this is just going to be a catch and shoot.
That's right, yep.
Michael Gray to play it in. Tried to set a couple of screens. Lobs for Okorafor. He couldn't quite get it, but he got it up. They're going to count it. He did get it in time. It counts, and he kind of got submarined and a foul on Temple.
Wow. And he got undercut. He catches it and just pushes it up toward the rim. They're going to look now.
I think they want to look and make sure he did get rid of it in time. But
that depends on who's on the clock
Fisher
over there.
is more than a little upset with his team that they let that ball get in there when there was no more time on the clock. Did he get it off? Than that.
Yeah, Armand, our authority here, said, looking at the monitor, he did get it off. So we'll see.
If so, that would give him 9 points. Emmanuel has scored double figures 4 times but only once in conference play. His last double-figure game this year was 10 against Rice, and that's been, 3 weeks ago or so. And he's
zero times.
Now got 9 in the first half.
0 times has he scored in double figures after the first 4. 0 times the last 11 ball games. He still has done magnificent work.
Oh, yeah.
He's invaluable with what he does, but it would be nice to see him get in double figures again today.
They haven't put it up on the board yet. Well, on the strap monitor they have it. On the scoreboard they have, that would make it 27-25 Wichita State. It would give him 9 points and 3 of 5 shooting from the field, and he's going to go back to the free throw line where he's 3 for 4.
You know, you feel a comfort level with both big guys when they go to the free throw line. They have nice enough touches where if they miss, the ball's usually going to stay up close to the basket. Yes, they count it and give him the one, and give him the free throw.
One shot.
Armand, thank you for that expert analysis there. Very good.
Foul was on Jordan Mason, his first. So a core of 4 with 1 free throw. He's 3 for 4 from the line, and he can get in double figures in the first half here if he makes this one. The biggest Wichita State lead.
Their coach is still complaining.
Really going at it. Wichita State's biggest lead has been 3, and that was just over 2 minutes into the ball game. This could get it to 3 here if he makes the free throw. And it is up, and it's perfect. Emmanuel Okorafor with a 10-point first half, and Wichita State leads 28-25, 3:14 to go in the first half. Mason into the front court, swings toward the left wing, keeps his dribble out top to Ford, works off a little screen, trying to penetrate, cut off by Boyd, way back out front to Mason. Mason dribbles toward the left wing, working off a screen by Kita, into the lane, and I thought it might have been off of him out of bounds. They're going to call the deflection off Wichita State, but good defense for the Shockers. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Going to come in from the baseline, right of the basket. Jordan Mason to play it. Looking in and throws way out front to Tobiasen. Squared up on Giles. Throws it in the left corner. Bryant trying to work his way in the lane. Forced one, missed it badly. Ball's batted around, and that's a shot clock violation. The Shockers actually did end up with the loose ball rebound, but the shot clock expired, and it had already expired, and so the Shockers get it either way.
Once again, the shot missed so badly, it's tough for rebounders to get in position to pull it down, but the Shockers' reflexes were good enough. The ball was batted around long enough that the shot clock expired.
Messiah Gilliard back in, replacing Bryant. Shockers with the ball and a chance to build their biggest lead of the game. They're up 3. Gray down to the left baseline area, backing in on Mason from the left block, out to Giles on the left wing, crosses back over to the right, gets the lane, gets a man in the air, 15-footer, bounces out. He came up clean, ball almost fumbled, but recovered by Temple, and Gilliard gets it over to Mason. That's about the most open shot Kenyon Giles has had. Couldn't quite get it to fall. Mason, right wing, Gilliard driving, almost had it stolen, gets it back, puts up a shot, and it bounces in. Messiah Gilliard recovered from a near steal and got the ball to bounce in. That cuts the lead to 1. Michael Gray on the give and go to Okorafor. Turnaround blocked. Okorafor gets it right back. Takes it in close. Spins. Gets keyed up in the air and went up with the layup and missed it. Fight for the ball on the floor. Boyd got it. Put it up and in. Karan
Just
Boyd.
Pursuit. Wichita State, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, shows why. They have quick hands underneath. The big men are able to gather the ball in.
30-27 Shockers. 1:37 to go first half. Somebody finally getting to 30 points here in this low-scoring first half. Jordan Mason bounces right wing to Gilliard, at the top to Kita. Kita with one dribble, hands it off to Ford. Ford into the lane, fumbled it, and Okorafor comes up with it. And the Shockers have a chance to once again expand their lead beyond 3. Kenyon Giles, long 3 by Giles. Good. Another one of those out by the logo.
My goodness.
First three-pointer of the game for Wichita State. And Temple with a timeout as the Shockers are up 6 for the first time in the first half.
from the logo. My goodness. Holy cow. Wow.
His first three, the first for the team. They've only taken 5, so that's not so bad. They haven't been throwing up a lot of, but 1 of 5 from 3. They're now up to 41% overall, and the Shockers now up by 6, 33-27.
You know, their perimeter defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
And as a result, Wichita State is having a tough time getting clean looks, but certainly he was so far out. He got a perfect look, and he was able to can it. The first three-pointer made by the Shockers in this evening's ball game.
Temple is 60th in the nation in three-point percentage defense at 31.4%. And the Shockers are even better than that, 34th. Their three-point percentage defensive number 305. Temple has made 2 of 5 in the first half.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, Temple's opponents have shot 27% from the three-point stripe in 4 of their last 5 ball games. Wichita State, even better. Their opponents have shot 25% from the three-point stripe in 7 of their last 8.
Temple inbounding. Mason will just let it roll. Now the clock starts as he picks it up. Just over a minute to go in the first half. Wichita State by 6. Mason looking to play off a screen, then launches a 3. It's no good, short, and it's going to bounce out of bounds. Nobody touch it. Wichita State will get it with 59 seconds to go in the half.
Not seen a lot of assists. Wichita State has 2. Temple has 2 assists on the ball game. On the season, Temple is 6th in the conference in frequency of assists, but we're not seeing anything close to that in this evening's contest.
Gilliard came over to official Josue Nieves, said, "You see that?" He grabbed my jersey, and Nieves said, "White ball." Boyd at the top. Giles, shot fake, trying to get in the lane. Fall away 15-footer. Missed that one, but Okora for another rebound. Spins to the basket, went for the dunk, and missed that. And Temple with the rebound.
Yeah, they're very physical inside, and Okorafor pushed a little bit.
Gilliard down the lane, forcing it up, and an air ball rebounded by Okorafor. Again, well defended by Karan Boyd. And now the Shockers will play for 1. The shot clock is off, 23 seconds to go in the half, and Paul Mills will call a timeout to set up something specific. From your first property to your next big win, Dynamo Capital keeps real estate investing possible with funding you can count on. Visit dynamocapital.com and get in the game today.
How about this? You've had a lot of missed shots by Temple, and Wichita State's doing a good job of bothering them. Their field goal percentage is 37.9, exactly the same as the Shockers thus far, Mike. But Wichita State is winning this ball game. Irony of irony from the free throw line, where they've connected on 10 of 14 free throws.
This sounds harsh, but Temple, 11 of 29, 37.9%. I think the percentage of those 18 misses that have just been really, really off the mark is as high as we've seen from a team and a half this year.
It is, and they can turn it on, but they've been shooting 43 to 44% in each game for 7 of their last 8 ball games. And they go one-on-one. They're Philadelphia kids, and they know how to play one-on-one, very physical basketball, and Wichita State is playing physical themselves.
And the Shockers, in 8 of their last 9, have held their opponents to a collective 40.5%. So their defense has been strong recently. Michael Gray, right in the middle of the floor, right wing to TJ Williams. Right corner, Giles gets it away. No good. Rebound bounces along the baseline. Recovered by Temple with 3 seconds to go. Mason rushing it up the floor. Half-court shot. No good. And so it will be a 6-point margin going to halftime. The halftime score, Wichita State 33, Temple 27. I have something I've got to do out on the floor, so Pat Strothman will join Dave for the halftime report coming up next.
The Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
It's been a thrilling game so far from Koch Arena. Wichita State and Temple officially at the break, with the Shockers leading 33-27. Alongside the great Dave Dahl, I am not Mike
Pat
Kennedy.
Yeah, but Pat, you are an excellent broadcaster. You do the female games, and thank you for helping us out. We'll do a little bit of a review.
Yes.
And Mike is being honored at halftime along with some past NCAA champion or tournament teams. So a couple things to look at in the first half. We said free throws would probably be an important factor, and Wichita State is more than holding its own on the line. They've scored 10 times of the 14 free throw opportunities, and that's 7 more than Temple has, and you're talking about the difference in the ball game right there. Also, I love the fact that Wichita State, who has not rebounded well in about the last handful of games, is proving dominant thus far in the first half. Now, that's not to say it's going to continue into the second half, but the Shocks have out-rebounded Temple 25-13, and WSU, which is one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the country, is showing why. They have 11 of those 25 rebounds on the offensive end, which means that they're missing quite a few shots.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a nip-and-tuck first half. Neither team really getting that much separation. The largest lead for Wichita State stands at right now at 6 after being able to close the first half in style. But it was Temple early on, a 7-0 run to give them a 5-point lead. Wichita State continued to chip away. TJ Williams came in and gave a lot of energy right off the bat. And then once we got to 25 all, a guy by the name of Kenyon Giles took over. But how about the defense, Dave? At the very end of the first half, they gave up 1 bucket in the final 5:36.
Yeah, and it goes in spurts, and you've got to have an entire team that's capable of doing that. But I love the fact that they're making each shot difficult. And when you play a team from Philadelphia, for whatever reason, they're very good one-on-one basketball players. And this team is one-on-one basketball players, but Wichita State's helping out quite well. One of the impressive first-half stats, other than Giles, who has 9 points, is Emmanuel Okorafor. Emmanuel has scored in double figures 4 times and make that 5 times now on the season. He's playing remarkable in the first half. He has 9 rebounds already. He has 10 points. But I love the fact that Wichita State's free throw shooting, as we said, is so good, and Okorafor is leading the way with 4 of 5 from the line.
No doubt about it. All right, the second half winning strategies are brought to you by Capital Federal, trusted banking and loans for your family, home, and business. True Blue for over 130 years. Capital Federal, equal housing lender, member FDIC. All right, Mr. Dave Dahl, what do we got?
Thanks, Pat. We talked before the ball game about what are going to be some of the critical factors. Wichita State needs to continue to rebound well if they're going to win this basketball game. They're going to have to convert a higher percentage when they rebound on the offensive end. That would be nice to see if they're capable of doing that. Also, points in the paint has been a critical factor for Wichita State's wins. Wichita State is equal thus far to the Owls, 14-14 with points in the paint. It would be really nice if the Shockers could establish themselves just a little bit more with points in the paint. And finally, this is a very physical game. It's muscle for muscle. And Wichita State has to continue to hold their own physically if they're going to be able to win this basketball game.
Do you have any quick thoughts on this guy right here, Mike Kennedy, that's set to be honored?
Mike is one of the greatest announcers of all time at any level, and I guess I have one thing to say, and we all love Mike. Basketball players will have off days. So will baseball players. Any athlete will have off days. Mike has done this for 46 years. He has never had an off day. He has never taken a broadcast off, and within the broadcasts, he has never taken 1 second off, and we're lucky to have him broadcasting all these years.
Without question. There's a reason why I call him Iron Mike. I don't care what Mike Tyson says. He's the real Iron Mike, because that guy brings it every single day, and he's being honored as we speak right now. Let us take a break. When we return, we'll dive deeper into the first half numbers. Wichita State leads Temple 33-27. You're listening to Shocker Basketball.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Well, the guy who's been in this chair for over 4 decades, he was just surprised with a banner that will be hanging forever inside Charles Koch Arena. And it's the least that can be done to show appreciation for that guy who is the definition of a pro's pro in the broadcasting industry. Welcome back to halftime. I'm Pat Strothman, filling in for the legendary Mike Kennedy. Don't you worry, I'm not taking the mic away from him for half number 2. You will have him, as well as Dave Dahl. Let's look at the halftime stats brought to you by Groundworks, the official foundation repair company of Shocker Athletics. Shocker lead 33-27. Both teams pretty identical thus far. Wichita State's 37% from the field, just 1 of 6 from distance. But that 1-3 from Kenyon Giles ended up being a big one to make it a 6-point lead, which is where we currently stand. 10 of 14 from the free throw line were the Shocks. And rebounding-wise, that's been the biggest difference to me. 25 rebounds compared to 13 for Temple. 11 offensive rebounds, resulting in 8 second-chance points for Wichita State. Temple shooting 38% from the field, 2 of 6 from distance, 3 of 7 from the free throw line. The Temple Owls with 3 turnovers. The Shockers have 5 thus far. Both teams even in points in the paint, 14 a pop. The bench production has been better for Wichita State with 12 points compared to 2 for the Temple Owls. Wichita State paced by Emmanuel Okorafor with 10 points and 9 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. That's where the majority of his work has pretty much been done. He's been around the rim, pulling down boards, 6 offensive rebounds being key for Wichita State. Karan Boyd with 2 points. Kenyon Giles with 9 points on 4 of 14 shooting. TJ Williams with some energy in the 12 minutes that he had in the first half. Ends up with 5 points and 3 rebounds. Will Berg chipped in 2 points and 3 boards. Dre Kindle with 4 points. Brian Amunique with a free throw in that first half. The Temple Owls were led by Darian Ford, who ended up with 7 points. Jemai Felt with 3 points and 2 boards. Gavin Griffiths with 5 points, 3 steals for him for the Temple Owls. Aiden Tobiasen ended up with 6 points and 3 boards. Jordan Mason, 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting, and just 2 points off the bench coming from Messiah Gilliard, who has 2 points and 2 rebounds. Wichita State 33, Temple 27. The first half featured 6 different lead changes, 8 different ties. But now we're ready for half number 2. And the guy who is used to doing games right here in the seats is going to bring you 7-half action when we return. Shockers 33, Owls 27. You're listening to Shocker Basketball.
Thank you, Pat.
The Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
The second half about ready to begin. Thanks again to Pat Strothman for sitting in, getting me through the halftime with Dave. The Shockers up 33-27, and Wichita State will have the possession to start the second half. Karan Boyd into Michael Gray. Emmanuel Okorafor, Dylan Battie, Kenyon Giles complete the lineup. Right wing, Boyd holding, looking out front. Giles bounces to Okorafor. Rolling to the basket. Ball got swatted away. And going the other way is Jordan Mason down into the lane. Fumbled it but recovers out to Griffiths for a 3. That's good. Griffiths is 2 for 2 from 3 tonight, or at least 2 for 3. And coming in, again, last 6 games, 5 of 37 from 3. Amazing.
He's bound to start missing. We would think. We would hope.
Cuts it to 3. Okorafor left block, backing his way in, banging in there. Step through and then missed the shot, followed by Battie. Wouldn't go and out of bounds. Last touch by Karan Boyd.
I like the pursuit, though, on the boards. They stayed with it. How about that aggressive move by Okorafor?
Okorafor just 3 of 10. That's unusual for him. But Shockers up by 3. Temple just hit a 3-pointer to cut a 6-point lead at half. They've got another possession. Mason drives left, gets into the lane, throws up a floater, no good. Rebound knocked away from Okorafor, but out of bounds off the hand of Jemai Felt. Felt tried to save it back in, but he stepped on the end line. So the Shockers take over, still up 3, and Kenyon Giles kind of pulling his teammates together, getting organized a little bit.
Yeah, don't want a momentum shift at this point.
Kenyon Giles up to the timeline and into the front court. Swings to the right. Picked up his dribble, cross court to Michael Gray. Crossover behind the back, spins in the lane. Hands it off on the wing to Boyd. Step back at the foul line, way short, and the rebound to Temple's Gavin Griffiths. Over to Jordan Mason. Mason into the front court. Shockers have still not scored in the second half. About a minute and a half in. Mason driving, threw it out to Griffiths. He drives it and gets in and jumps it off to Felt, who missed the dunk. Tried to get it back, stripped out of his hands. Loose ball picked up by a Korafor.
How does he miss that?
Man, Shockers dodged a bullet for sure there. Wow. Kenyon Giles off a screen by a Korafor. 3 from out front. Good! Kenyon Giles with his second 3 of the night. He has 12.
Get that man on track. He's been scoring 25.5 points per game in 4 of his last 5. Love to see him hit at least that tonight.
Shockers back up by 6. Mason into the front court. Dribbles right to the middle. Griffiths, and we got an offensive foul call on Felt, setting a screen on Battie to free up Griffiths. It doesn't really matter, but Griffiths did finally miss a 3-point shot coming off of that screen. Foul on Jemai Felt, who kind of argues every call, picks up his first. And looks like he's going to go out. Maybe, yeah, he's going to go out. And Duradola is in, Babatunde Duradola.
Yeah, he averages about 3 fouls per ball game, so he's used to arguing with the officials.
Korafor catches at the high post, gives it over to Michael Gray, screens for Gray. Michael right wing to Battie, right corner to Boyd. Dribbles toward the wing, then back out front to Gray. Left side to Kenyon Giles.
They're starting to double up a little bit.
Gray down into the lane, jump stop, gives it over to Battie, 5 to shoot, spins under on Griffiths and then fumbled it out of bounds. He just got in a hurry, recognizing the shot clock was about to expire, kind of rushed things and lost the handle.
Well, and he got too deep. He was right along the baseline, almost underneath the basket, and there was no place for him to go. So a little frustrated, but he's going to be fine.
2.5 minutes into the second half. Each team has made a 3-point basket. That's been all the scoring since halftime. Mason drives the left side of the lane, throws it out front to Ford. He takes it in the lane, stumbled, almost fell down, dribbles out of the lane, and gives it out front to Griffiths. Looked like Ford was kind of holding his hand or wrist, but he's got it back. Trying to take it in the lane on Battie, slams into him, ball goes out of bounds. Ford gets it back, fumbles it, and a foul.
Oh, my.
Good stop initially by Battie.
He's holding his hand.
And he continues to hold his left hand, his shooting hand, whether it's the hand itself, the thumb, I can't really tell, but something happened there that definitely was painful. That is the first foul of the second half on either team, and Darian Ford goes to the line for the first time.
The foul is on Boyd.
On KEYN, that's his first. Free throw, good.
Well,
didn't seem to bother him shooting the free throw.
Nothing wrong with his hand there. Here's a guy that has made 137 free throws coming into this ball game. Heaven's sakes, Mike, you're talking
5.5 a game.
Per game. My goodness.
And at 83.5%.
Well,
he's got 8 tonight.
6 of his last 7 ball games, he's shooting 91% from the free throw line.
Made them both, and he's got 9. Temple cuts the lead to 4. 16:57 to go, second half. Into the front court, Michael Gray. T.J. Williams is in the lineup for Dylan Battie. Right wing, Williams gets it. Tried to throw it inside to Berg, and it was deflected and stolen by Temple. Mason up the floor for the Owls. Into the free throw circle. Spinning in the lane. Trying to take it in there. Double teamed, almost lost it, and they're going to call a foul. A reach in on Wichita State. And if that's on Will Berg, that's his boom 3 after he just came in to start the second half.
Yeah, and he's critical to have in the ball game. Will has fouled out of 2 ball games thus far on the season. He's fouled more than anybody on the Shocker ball club. He has 72 fouls on the season, and now he's going to the bench with his 3rd foul.
It is his 3rd. He only played under 8 minutes in the first half and came in the first few seconds here, picks up his 3rd. Ball out to Tobiasen, over to Griffiths. Left half of the floor, crossover dribble, down into the lane, throws up a floater, missed it, rebound batted out, and it goes to Kenyon Giles. By the way, the Korafor came back in for Berg after that foul. T.J. Williams, right side of the floor, backing his way into the lane on Tobiasen, who pokes it away. T.J. recovers it. Gets it along the sideline to Gray. Griffiths almost stole that pass.
Yeah, these guys are going to get much more physical than they were in the first half, if that's possible.
Giles one-on-one with Ford. Dribbles to the right side. Crossover dribble. Trying to take him one-on-one. 3 to shoot. Long jumper. Oh, my goodness.
How does he do it?
Another 3 for Kenyon Giles with 3 on the shot clock. He's got 3 trays and 15 points, and the Shockers lead by 7.
Ford is just wondering the same thing. How does he take me like that?
Mason out front. Going to step back now. He drives it. Gets in the lane. Shovels a pass to Tobias and blocked by a Okorafor. They're going to call a foul. I don't know about that one.
My goodness.
Looked like a really good block by a Okorafor, but it's going to go as his second foul. And we'll get a timeout with 15:37 to go in the second half. It's Wichita State 39, Temple 32.
You're listening to Shocker Men's Basketball with Mike Kennedy and Dave Dahl. Live from Charles Koch Arena on the home of Wichita's greatest hits. 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
15:37 to go in the second half. Wichita State leads Temple 39-32. The Shockers in the second half, 2 of 5 from the field, but 2 for 2 from 3, while Temple is 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and 2 of 2 from the line. The Shockers have outscored Temple by 1 after leading at halftime by 6. For the game, Wichita State just 37%, but Temple only 36.5. Both teams actually shooting a little better from 3. Wichita State 3 of 8, Temple 3 of 7 so far.
Temple has out-rebounded Wichita State by 2 in the second half. They're getting really physical. Wichita State's going to have to return it in kind if they're going to hold their own against this ball club. And these kids know how to play rough basketball, and Wichita State can't back down. They need to play just as tough as Temple is going to bring to them this second half.
For the game, Wichita State plus 10 on the boards, 27-17. The Shockers have 7 turnovers to Temple's 5, but the Shockers lead on points off turnovers 6-2.
Well, here's almost an automatic at the free throw line.
We said that once and he missed. We'll see if we can get him to do it again. Aiden Tobias in 2 for 3 tonight, right at 80% on the year.
My recollection of the Temple teams is if they're behind, they continue to take it right at the heart of the defense, try to get into the free throw lane area and draw the foul. Tobiasen
has already shot 3 free throws, averages about 5 attempts a game. Well, we talked him into another miss. He's now 2 for 4. He has 6 points overall, and he'll get 1 more here. Again, Tobiasen has improved his scoring average from 4.8 as a freshman to 14.7 as a sophomore, and he makes the second free throw. So Wichita State's lead is 6, 39-33. Michael Gray bringing it up. T.J. Williams in there at the 4, and it's Giles, Okorafor, and Boyd. Williams has it left wing, out front to Gray. Started right off an Okorafor screen, back to E-Man out front, hands it off to Boyd. Looking inside, right wing Gray, 3 on the way. Good.
Oh, that's sweet.
Boy, out of his hand it looked good. It was right on line, right in front of us. That's his first basket of any kind in the game, and the Shocker lead is 9.
And a good offensive performance from Michael is going to go a long way in getting a win for the Shocks.
42-33, Mason stops the foul line, tried to bounce it to Duradola and led him too far with the bounce pass and bounced it out of bounds.
So you've got Wichita State that really struggled from the three-point stripe in the first half, going 1 of 6. They've made 3 3-pointers already in the second half.
Gray into the front court, 4 of 9 now for the game. Left wing Boyd looks inside, looks for Giles cutting through. Out front to T.J. Williams. Looks to drive it, does drive it. Takes Griffiths down in low, got him in the air, gets 2 men in the air, goes up, and it bounces in. Great job by T.J. Williams to get people up in the air, played off 2 feet. He's got 7.
We talked about their having to play really physical in the second half. T.J. was a marksman and a master at it.
Shots are by 11. Ford driving the right side of the line into traffic, threw it up, missed it. They're going to call a foul. But 1-on-2 down low. And they call the foul on Wichita State. Paul Mills, not sure it was a foul, but Ford's going to go to the line.
And that's going to be their game. They're going to take it right at them and hope to draw the fouls against the Shockers. It was on Boyd. That's his second.
Fourth team foul of the half. Only 1 so far on Temple. Wichita State had a big edge on free throw opportunities in the first half. Ford is 2 for 2. That one's good. Yeah, he's 83.5% on the year, so you expect him to make practically every one. Tobiasen goes out. Gilliard is back in for Temple. Ford, the first Owl to get in double figures. He's got 10. He's their leading scorer at 18 points per game. And that one settles in. So he's got 11, and Temple cuts the lead to 9. It's 44-35, Wichita State. Michael Gray into the front court, dribble handoff to Williams, hands it off to Boyd. Coming back right to left, right at the top, gives it to Michael Gray. Gray off an Okorafor screen, throws it left wing to Boyd. Down on the left block to Okorafor. Looking to back his way in on Duradola. Spins baseline, spins back, steps through, and the shot's blocked and a foul on Duradola.
Well,
and he is incredulous at the call, as he always seems to be. That's his third. And just the second team foul of the half on Temple. This will be Wichita State's first free throw opportunity of the second half.
Yeah, in the second half, Temple is outscoring Wichita State from the free throw line. They're 5 of 6. And Shockers are finally going to the free throw line.
Okorafor putting up his 5th double-figure game of the year in the first half. That free throw bounces out. Thought it was going to go down. Bounced out. He's now 4 of 6 from the line. 10 points. Has not scored yet in the second half.
And you have Will Berg on the bench with 3 fouls.
One more for E-Man here. He can get the lead back to double digits. That one good.
He sure did.
4-4, 5 of 7 from the line, 11 points. Shockers lead 45-35. Still a long way to go. 14 minutes. Mason bringing it up for Temple, guarded by Michael Gray. A little crossover dribble gets him into the front court above the right wing. Keeping that dribble going. Out front to Gilliard. Dribble handoff to Ford. Ford off a screen. Looks to penetrate. Steps back. Now drives it. 15-footer short. And gets his own rebound. Out to Mason. Back to Ford. 3 from the left wing. Missed that. And the rebound out of bounds. Last touch by Temple. I believe Griffiths. Those are ones you always worry about. He missed a 2, gets the rebound back, and then shoots a 3. It's how many times you see that one go in, but it did not. Wichita State gets it back. Tobias and in. Duradola out for Temple, and Felt is back in, and Griffiths goes out for Wichita State. It is Dre Kendall into the lineup, replacing Michael Gray.
In a real turn of events in the last 5 or 6 years, Wichita State is 4th in the conference in three-point accuracy, but Temple is 5th, right behind them.
Right elbow, Okorafor catches, fakes a handoff to Giles, who had a man right on him. Over to T.J. Williams. T.J. dribbles at the top, left wing Boyd, takes it toward the lane, backing in on Tobiasen. Spins in there, little hook, bounces out, and the rebound bounces long to Gilliard for Temple. Quickly up court 4, driving to the basket, got around Kendall and lays it in. Nice little move by Darian Ford, who now has 13. That cuts the lead to 8 for Wichita State. Kendall at the top, right wing to Boyd. Looks inside to Okorafor, back out front to Kendall. Clears aside, dribbles to the left wing, out front to Okorafor. Fakes a dribble handoff, drives it to the basket, goes up in traffic, and he was fouled. Strong drive from 10 feet out. That's something we haven't seen much from Okorafor. Put it on the floor for a couple of dribbles, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, and they were dropping off him, thinking he was going to pass the ball, and an instantaneous recollection of that, and he decides to go ahead and take it to the basket. Now he has a chance to score from the free throw line. You've got Berg coming in if he makes these free throws.
Foul was on Tobias and his first. This will be 2 shots for Emmanuel Okorafor, who's made 5 of 7 free throws. That one's up. Good.
You know, if you can keep the lead at 10 or 11 points and not let them get on any run, Wichita State's going to take the steam out of this team. They've lost 3 in a row. They have to be second-guessing themselves a little bit.
That just matched the most free throws Okorafor has made in a game. He was 6 for 7 against Western Kentucky.
Doesn't he look
7
good?
for 9 tonight. He's got 13. He'll get a breather as Will Berg comes back in. Okorafor with a new career high with 13 points tonight, previously 12 against DePaul.
And he's doing a lot of things well, Mike. He's getting to the boards. He's defending well. He's playing a complete game for WSU.
13 points, 9 boards for Okorafor. Shockers lead by 10. Ford brings it up into the front court, guarded now by Brian Amunique, who just came into the game. Out front, Gilliard dribbles left, wanted to get it to Mason, but Kendall wouldn't let him, and throws instead to Felt, who tries to hand it off, ball loose. Kendall diving for it. They call a foul on that.
Oh, wow.
The ball came loose on a handoff. No Shocker even reached in there, but they're going to call a foul, maybe on T.J. Williams. Yep, that's going to be his second. I swear that was just a fumble between 2 Temple players, but it's the 5th Wichita State foul.
The eye of the beholder, as they say.
Temple will play it in. Shockers up 10, 12:24 to go.
Fifth foul on the Shockers.
Tobiasen out front to Mason. Works off a Tobiasen screen. Doesn't go very far. Keeps it above the right wing. Now penetrates into the lane. 15-footer. Way short. Rebound, Kendall Giles. Shot it from the free throw line. Open shot, but it was way short. Giles for three. Good! In transition. Right to the top of the arc. And buried it. He now has 4 trays. 18 points. Temple wants a timeout. 12:06 to go. Wichita State up 13. We'll keep it here.
I'm going to cut your heart out, is what he says. What a shot.
Kenyon Giles is now 4 of 8 from 3 after a slow start. Celebrate Shocker wins with Roundhouse Reserve Bourbon Whiskey, crafted in collaboration with Boot Hill Distillery and Wichita State University. This high wheat bourbon is a soil-to-sip spirit made right here in Kansas.
Isn't it funny, Mike? Everybody knows that Giles is the focal point of this offense. People double team him, they get physical with him, but he's too quick on his release. He's finding open shots. That's his third three-pointer in this second half already.
Wichita State is 5 of 10 now from 3. Oh, by the way, they were 1 of 6 in the first half. 4 for 4 in the second half. 3 by Giles and 1 by Michael Gray.
Yeah, what a difference maker. And if they can get Michael cooking again, it's going to make a huge difference, because then they can't concentrate on Giles quite as much. But he's undaunted by that anyway. He's been able to find open shot after open shot.
Again, over the last 5 games, Wichita State has only shot 24% from 3 and averaged 5.2 threes per game. They now have 5 with 12:06 to go, shooting 50%.
Well, and the fact that they're building that lead, now it's a 13-point lead with 12:06 left in the ball game. They need to continue to play tough defense, and I expect Temple is going to continue to take the ball to the basket, draw fouls, keep the clock stopped as they go to the free throw line, where they've been experts.
Both teams pretty cool in the first half. Temple about 38%, the Shockers about 37%. Temple's only 2 of 8 from the field in this half, and they have slipped now for the game to 35.1, while the Shockers have made 5 of 9 in the second half, and they're now up to 41% for the game.
There was a comment that Bob Lutz posted, which was fascinating. He said there have been 11 players that have averaged at least 19 points per game since 1950 for Wichita State. 11 players.
Wow.
And I wouldn't remember all of them, but we would recognize all of them. But in any event, Giles was only 4 points from averaging 19 points a game. And he's well on his way to getting up to that 19 points, because he has to score 23 today to get him up there.
Well, he's got 18 with 12 minutes to go. Wichita's family-owned and operated Doodah Diner is proud to support Shocker athletics. That was the first called timeout by either team in the second half, so normally it was a 30, but that expands automatically to a full timeout. We should be getting another timeout at the first dead ball after the 12:06 mark here. Shocker lineup has Will Berg back in there with T.J. Williams, Brian Amunique, Kenyon Giles, and Dre Kindle. Gilliard, Griffiths, Mason, Felt, and Tobiasen for Temple.
Shockers out-rebounded Temple by 12 in the first half. Now the Shockers are up by 10, so Temple has out-rebounded them by 2 in the second half. The Shocks need to reassert themselves on the board, show their dominance once again.
Tobiasen bringing it up. He'll be guarded by Amunique as he gets into the front court. And now gives it up to Mason out front. They look for Mason to handle it and run things from the top most of the time. He dribbles off a screen to the right, back out front. Griffiths gets a 3 away, and it bounces short. Rebound Will Berg, but they're going to call a foul on Wichita State on the rebound. I don't think it was Berg. Might have been Kenyon Giles. Calling Giles for a push on the box out. That'll be his first foul. And the team's 6th. And now the official under 12 timeout. 11:47 to go, second half. Wichita State 50, Temple 37.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
11 minutes, 47 seconds still to go in the second half. Wichita State, which led by 6 at halftime, has expanded its lead to 13. The Shockers up 50-37, but still a long way to go. This is a potentially explosive Temple team. So far, the Shockers doing a great job on them defensively in the second half.
Yeah, Wichita State is in danger of letting the momentum shift just a little bit. They're scoring, but they're fouling. And that puts a team like Temple at the free throw line. Temple on the season shoots 74.4% from the line, so you don't want to turn this into a free throw shooting contest against a team like this. Also, the rebounding momentum has shifted toward Temple as well. They've out-rebounded WSU by 2 or 3 in the second half. The Shocks are going to have to take command of that stat again.
Temple had a slow first half at the line, 3 for 7, but they're now 5 of 6 in the second half for the game, 8 of 13. The Shockers are 13 of 18, so they are still outscoring them significantly from the line at the moment, and Temple typically averages 4 points a game more than its opponents from the line. No free throws here.
Excuse me, Michael. We've got the Shocks with 6 fouls. Temple only has 3 fouls despite their physical play.
Mason playing it in from the baseline. Looking in the lane first. Right corner to Felt. Up on the wing, Tobiasen launches a 3 and hits.
Ooh.
That was a quick release. He's got 10. So that will cut the Shocker lead to 7 with 11:37 to go. That cuts it to 10. Sorry, it was at 13. Kindle, left wing to Amunique. Looking inside for Berg. Couldn't get it in there. Kindle, dribble handoff to Giles. Giles, left side to Amunique. Throws at the free throw line to T.J. Williams. 9 to shoot. Down the lane. Up with the right hand. Rolled out. Rebound Berg. And then it's knocked out of his hands, but a foul on Temple.
Good. Get those fouls equaled.
Boy, T.J. got some contact there. That's his first miss. Shockers will inbound from the baseline.
Shot with his right hand.
Foul. I haven't quite figured out who it was on yet. Armand has it for us. Thank you, Armand. Aiden Tobiasen, his second. Drake Kendall will play it in. And gets in the left corner to Giles. Dribbles toward the lane, pull up 15-footer. Hits another one.
Why not?
Just uncanny. 20 points for Kenyon Giles. Shockers by 12 with 11:05 to go.
He's been unstoppable thus far in the second half.
That is 14 times that he has scored 20 or more, and Amunique just almost stole it right out of Tobiasen's hands. He couldn't quite keep it from going out of bounds.
A pickpocket. I mean, he's... What happened was Tobiasen was still on the move, and all of a sudden the ball wasn't even close to him.
19 left on the shot clock. Mason to play it in from the baseline. Couple of cross screens, lobs it, and Griffiths missed the dunk. Rebound to Kenyon Giles. Quickly up into the front court, crosses over behind a screen from Berg, penetrates a little bit left wing to Kindle. Dre's going to drive it, gets in the lane. Hands it off to Williams, cutting to the basket, and he lays it in.
Just like a fullback, taking a handoff from the quarterback. What a beautiful play.
T.J. Williams with 9. Beautiful assist from Kendall. The Shockers lead by 14. Mason out front. Dribbles left, crosses over, fumbled it, and it's stolen by T.J. Williams. He's taken it down the floor all the way to the basket, and he was fouled. It rolled out. But a foul on Gavin Griffiths of Temple, and T.J. Williams will go to the line for 2.
They're going one-on-one so much. Wichita State is gambling on defense, and it's been able to pay off for them.
Third foul on Gavin Griffiths, 15 fouls. So Williams to the line, where he was 1 of 2 in the first half. He can get in double figures for the second straight game here. Puts that one up. Good. So TJ, 2 of 3 from the line, 10 points. Coming off that 27-point career high at East Carolina, but over the last 2 games, averaging 18, as he had 9 in the game prior to that.
And the frame of mind has to be to build the lead, not to hold the lead or maintain the lead, but continue to build it.
It's at 15 with 10:17 to go. Second free throw, too hard. Rebound bounces along the baseline and recovered by Tobiasen for Temple. Tobiasen still with it in the front court, penetrating in the lane, goes to the basket, throws up a hook off the backboard, rebounded by Williams. driving up the floor, taking it to the basket on Ford. He was cut off, but still has the dribble out to Giles. Wide open three. It was wide open, but it was way out there. He's got 23. Another assist for T.J. Williams, and the Shockers are up by 18.
Has Williams ever had an easier assist?
And Giles almost stole it from Tobias, and now Tobias is just trying to run over him, and they're going to call a foul on Kenyon Giles.
That's what they're going to do. As long as you realize that's their game plan, they're just going to run right into your chest and take it to the basket. And don't foul, double team occasionally. They're not looking to pass the ball. They're looking to drive the ball to the hoop.
Giles' second foul, team's 7th, so either way, either be a 1-and-1 or 2 shots. They're signaling 2 shots for Tobiasen, who has made 3 of 5 tonight, but 80% on the year. He has 10 points, 9:42 to go in the second half. Free throw, good. He's been off on a couple tonight, but when he's on, they are about as clean as you're going to see.
Sure
That barely whispered there.
And beautiful release.
T.J. Williams gets a breather. He's got 10 on the board. Dylan Battie back in the game. Second free throw, good. So Tobiasen now with 12. But Wichita State leads by 16.
Here's the press. Here's a little bit of a press.
2-2-1 zone press.
Make them
Boyd
pay.
Across the line to Battie. Dodges a couple of steal attempts. He'll give it to Kenyon Giles, and now to Kendall to set it up. 9:28 still to go. Kendall bounces left wing to Boyd, off a screen by Battie. Couldn't get around the screen, out front to Giles. KG, double team, gets rid of it to Boyd, penetrates, and he tried to throw over to Kendall, but he misread where he was going, threw it wide of him. It's out of bounds. A Shocker turnover. That's their 8th of the night, so not a high total, and just one more than Temple. Temple possession, down 16.
It was a zone press that they threw, a three-quarters court zone press that they threw on. Wichita State got the ball down.
Near steal by Kendall out front. It's got to Mason, left wing to Gilliard. At the high post to Duradola. Hands it off to Ford. Ford, step back 15-footer. Good. He got an open shot that time. He's got 15, getting close to his average of 18. Shockers lead it 58-44. Again, that full court press. Kendall across the timeline to Giles. Back out front to Dre Kendall to set it up.
Make them pay for that press. Get it down low and take it to the hoop.
They're dropping back into man out of the zone press on the right wing. Boyd taking it down low on Tobiasen. Backing him down. Spins to the baseline. Fumble. It's a shot up and got it.
Like it.
Just a very physical finish by Karan Boyd, who's got 4. He gets the lead back to 16.
Yeah, turnabout is fair play. If you're going to play physical with me down low, I'll do the same with you.
Duradola, a couple of dribbles, hand off to Tobiasen. Into the lane, back out front to Gilliard. Gilliard, right wing to Mason. Still 12 on the shot clock. Mason looking to drive it hard now. Down the lane, throws up a floater.
That's
and
a tough
shot. He
yeah, it was.
Kind of slicing left and shot it back to his right. He's got 6. Not the full court press this time. Gilliard was showing a little bit of token pressure on Kendall. Gives it to Giles out near the timeline. 7:42 to go. Wichita State up by 14. Giles, one-on-one against Mason. Cross-court left wing to Battie, left corner to Kendall. Brings it up the wing, high post to Berg, hand off to Giles. Trying to get by a Berg screen. They double-team him and knocked him down, and they're going to call it out of bounds. 2 guys just slid into the back of him, knocked him over, and he lost the ball out of bounds, but it's going to be Temple's ball. Timeout on the floor, 7:27 remaining. It is Wichita State 60, Temple 46.
The Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
7:27 remaining here at Koch Arena. Wichita State leading Temple 60-46. Shockers' biggest lead has been 18 after leading by 6 at halftime. Temple cut it to 3, at least on one occasion, but the Shockers really playing well in the second half. 9 of 14 from the field, 64%, 5 for 5 from 3, and 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, they've held Temple to 5 of 14 shooting. They have made 7 of 8 free throws. And Temple cut Wichita State's rebound margin to 9 a few minutes ago. It's back to 11, 32-21. The Shockers with 2 more turnovers but points off turnovers, it's 9-4 in favor of Wichita State.
Advantageous, and Wichita State is getting more points in the paint by 20-18. The one difference that's somewhat keeping Temple in the ball game is they've gone to the free throw line 8 times, and more characteristic of a Temple team, they've made 7 of them for 87.5% in the second half. The Shocks are 4 of 6 from the line in the second half.
We mentioned that more points off turnovers. When the Shockers have had more, they are 12-3 on the year, and in fact, a couple of games where it was even, they won both of those, so they're 14-3 if they have the same or more points off turnovers.
More opportunistic on those turnovers. They take it down, and they've scored off those turnovers.
Temple possession coming out of that timeout, 7:27 to go. Mason will bring it up for Temple. Michael Gray back in the lineup for the Shockers, replacing Gray Kindle. Mason trying to work in from the right wing. Gray cut him off out front to Tobiasen. He drives it, puts up a runner in and out. On the rebound, Okorafor is going to be called for a foul as Tobiasen had position inside him, and that will be Eman's third personal foul.
And they just take it to the hoop. They're going to continue to do that. That's the nature of their game, to draw the fouls, to get to the free throw line where they're almost automatic.
Tobiasen just 3 of 10 from the field. He's 5 of 7 from the line, made his last 2. First free throw is short. Again, this is an 80% free throw shooter who's now missed 3 of 8. Dylan Battie out, TJ Williams back in. TJ, one of 3 Shockers in double figures tonight.
Wichita State's going to need to take care of the basketball. I think that if he makes this shot, Temple's going to at least do the three-quarters court press.
And he does make it. So he now has 13, and Temple is picking up in that full court zone press. Ron Boyd over to Michael Gray, back over to Boyd. He gets it across the timeline. Double team, gets it in the middle of the floor to Gray.
Make him
really
pay for
trying
that.
To pressure out by the timeline.
Yeah, don't just get it across the free throw. Make him pay for that. Take the ball to the hoop when you break that press.
Gray starts left, feeds it near the left corner to Boyd.
7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Karan working his way in, spinning. And the ball knocked out of his hands, and the Shockers would have had a shot clock violation, but it bounces to Darian Ford, and Temple has it back. Ford works to the top of the key, right wing Gilliard, shot fake, gives it out front to Duradola. He hands it off to Tobiasen. He's going to launch a 3 from the left wing. That's good. That is his second three-pointer. He's got 16, and Temple closing the gap a little bit. It's now a 10-point game. The Shockers once led by 18. TJ Williams, double-teamed in backcourt, gets it away to Gray, and the pass across the timeline deflected out of bounds by Tobiasen.
And what you're seeing is Wichita State takes almost the full 10 seconds to get the ball across to the half-court line. As a result, they don't have a lot of time to run their offense.
Boyd throws it into Gray in the backcourt, and when he brings it across the line, the Shockers will be down to 17 on the shot clock. Pass to Okorafor out beyond the top of the arc, right wing to Boyd. To Giles at the top. Pivoting, three-pointer up front, spins out this time, long rebound to Temple. Gilliard brings it up the right side of the floor along the sideline. Keeps the dribble on the right wing, and finally brings it out front, then hands it off to Mason. Jordan Mason, one-on-one with Gray. Couple of dribbles to the left, crossover into the free throw circle, 12-footer, bounces out, long rebound. TJ Williams had it bounces loose to Boyd. Karan up the court, he's just getting bodied up by Ford, no call. Throws to TJ Williams on the right wing. Way out front to Gray. Shockers still up by 10, 5:25 to go. They could use a bucket here. It's been a little while. Gray trying to drive it, fumbled, recovers, down the lane. Pivots in the lane, little short jumper, missed it. Rebound, Boyd almost had it, it's out of bounds. Oh! That was a Temple player cut in front of Boyd and was clearly the only player to touch it before it went out. And that's being discussed between Nieves and Shane Land. Nieves is going to let Land overrule him and give it to Temple. That's a horrible call. I mean, it was not even questionable. The Temple player clearly was the last one to touch it. We've got a timeout. Who called it? Are they going to look at that? I guess not.
They're going to look at it.
Okay. 5:14 on the clock in the second half. This is not an official timeout. Shocker Athletics, proudly supported by your locally owned and operated Five Guys. And we want to remind you to save the date for the 2026 Black and Yellow Gala presented by Equity Bank, benefiting all 16 Wichita State athletic programs. The 2026 Black and Yellow Gala presented by Equity Bank is scheduled for Saturday, August 16th. It will be a can't-miss night for Shocker fans. More details to be announced soon.
The Shockers' biggest lead in the ball game has been in the second half at the 9:59 mark. WSU had an 18-point lead when they went on an 8-0 run. Now we've got that equalized and cut back by Temple. The Shockers' lead is 10 points. Yet to be seen who has the ball, and there's 5:14 left in the ball game. So in the last 4 minutes, Temple has outscored Wichita State 8-0.
Temple still not shooting it well, 6 of 17 in the second half, 35%. The Shockers are 9 of 16 for 56%. But Temple has now outscored the Shockers by 4 points from the line in the half. They're 8 of 10. Wichita State 4 of 6 for the game. Wichita State still has 3 more free throws, connecting on 14 of 20.
I think Wichita State's got the ball. Yeah, they do.
It couldn't have been more obvious.
Yes.
I'm not sure what Shane Land was looking at, but man, that was not even close.
He was looking at all the gifts you accumulated here.
5:14 to go. And again, it would be nice for the Shockers to get a bucket here sometime soon. They have not scored for a while. In fact, they have not scored in 3 minutes.
Yeah, Boyd scored a 2-pointer, and that's the last. Giles scored with about the 10-minute mark to give them 58.
Michael Gray to play it in. Fakes left, looks in, throws it out for Giles, and it's deflected by Darian Ford, but they're going to call a hold on Ford as they chase the ball. Giles had a step on him. Ford was trying to get to it, and he tried to hold Kenyon Giles. 6th team foul, so this will not result in free throws, but the Shockers will be in the bonus on the next one. First foul on Darian Ford.
30 seconds on the shot clock.
Boyd gets it into T.J. Williams, left wing area, out front to Michael Gray. Gray throws it to Boyd, curling out to the right wing, looks on the block to Berg, out front to Giles, getting bodied up, twisting jumper, good.
Bango.
Ford banging him with his body. He'll still hit a 15-footer. He's got 25. The lead is back to 12.
Yeah, they can play physical with him all day. He's used to it, and he likes it.
Mason dribbles left. Guarded by Gray. Out on the wing, Tobiasen launches a three, and that's an air ball, but a rebound put back in by Gilliard.
That's too bad.
Messiah Gilliard with his second bucket now has 4. That cuts the lead to 10 again with 4:31 to go.
They need somebody to come up and help.
T.J. Williams gets into the front court, keeps his dribble going against Mason, and hands it out front to Michael Gray. Gray waits for his teammates to get set. Giles calling out something to him, gives it over to Kenyon, left half of the floor, working on Tobiasen. 3 from the wing, in and out, but a foul.
Well, how can they foul him?
Tobiasen knocked him to the floor, and he'll get 3 shots.
What in heaven's name are they thinking about?
Man, it was almost another 4-point play for Kenyon. That ball spun around and came out. He'll go to the line for 3. Also the 7th team foul on Temple. Kenyon Giles has not shot a free throw tonight, but he is shooting 86% on the year. He was 5 for 5 at East Carolina, and he missed that one.
And Tobiasen goes for the block on the 3-point shot. On the season, he blocks 1 shot every 5 games.
That one is good. Kenyon Giles with 26. That would be his ties for his 5th highest output of the year. Again, this is his 14th game with 20 or more points, in the 28th game for the Shockers. So in half the games this season, he has scored 20 or more.
And Mike, in 4 of his last 5 ball games, as you had discussed, 25.5 points per ball game. So now it's 5 of his last 6, and he's got that
Drains that one. So he's got 27. Wichita State by 12 with 4:07 to go. Okorafor came back in before the second free throw, replacing Will Berg. Mason dribbling left to right, just above the right wing with the dribble still going. Couple of dribbles forward, dribbles back a little bit.
They're eating a lot of time, wasting a lot of time.
Ford trying to drive it on T.J. Williams. Blocked by Williams. And the rebound to Karan Boyd.
My. What a block.
T.J. Williams into the front court. Way out front to Giles. Left wing to Michael Gray. Back in front to Kenyon Giles. Down to 3:35 to play, and the Shockers up by 12.
They'll double.
Basket here would be kind of a backbreaker for Temple. Giles out front to Williams. Dribbles to the right wing, hands it off to Boyd.
He's got to
take it in the lane, steps through, puts it up, missed it short. He was a little off balance, and he didn't get it quite up on the glass high enough.
They gave him a clear lane to the basket.
Tobiasen at the top of the arc, couple of dribbles. Now throws it over to Mason.
But they're taking way too much time.
He's driving it and almost lost it. Throws it out to Tobiasen. Tobiasen shot a three, but they're not going to count it. Michael Gray and Gilliard were in each other's face underneath. They separated them.
Was there a foul called, or is it just an official's timeout?
I think there was a foul, because Tobiasen was in the middle of getting ready to take a shot and they blew the whistle. So I think there's been a foul on somebody. We have a timeout with 3:04 to go. It's Wichita State 64, Temple 52.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
The officials have been at the monitor, our Armand Ely, speculating they might be looking at a potential double foul. Michael Gray and Messiah Gilliard for Temple were really in each other's faces. They had to separate them. Now Michael Gray's back on the floor, so nobody's been ejected or anything like that.
No, and I like the fact that the Shocks aren't backing down. Temple is known, at least the teams of the past, of trying to intimidate, and we talked about the fact of being too physical and flexing their muscle in there, but Wichita State has been undeterred by that the entire ball game.
Yeah, it looks like Gilliard has gone out of the game, but that might just be a substitution for Temple. The officials are still talking. They have not announced anything about what was called. .04 is the time remaining. It was Temple's ball, 13 on their shot clock, and now one of the officials is talking with Adam Fisher, the Temple coach, and another with Paul Mills. But we still have not been apprised of what came out of all of that discussion and the viewing of the monitor. One of the officials coming over, Hunter Allen. Armand Ely will find out what the ruling is here.
Okay, double foul. Temple's ball out of bounds because they had the jump ball.
Okay, and so I guess
double foul.
Yes, Michael Gray was one, and Gilliard must have been the other. So Temple with the basketball under their own basket. They are down 12, 3:04 remaining. It'll be Mason playing it in for the Owls. The Shockers have T.J. Williams, Michael Gray, Emmanuel Okorafor, Karan Boyd, Kenyon Giles. They're waiting for the announcement to be made to the crowd now. Fans will probably boo regardless.
Yeah.
Yep. A few anyway.
There we go.
Temple ball. And
get in the spirit.
Jordan Mason to play it in. Looks under, left corner Tobiasen, gets a jumper away, short, rebound, Okorafor goes up and snatches it. That's a double-double for E-Man. 13 points, 10 boards now. Shockers quickly up the floor. T.J. Williams driving it from the left wing, taking it down low, throws it out in the corner to Boyd. K-Ron back up to the wing, out front to Giles. 2:44 to play. Shockers by 12. Giles, double team, working off a screen. Left wing to Williams, or the left corner to Gray. Drives it in the lane, gets a shot up, in and out, and the rebound to Griffiths for Temple. He took a lot of contact, made a nice shot, but it bounced off the back. Ford back the other way for Temple. Just 2:25 to go. Ford into the lane, pull up 10-footer, off the mark, rebounded by Michael Gray.
Was it ever?
Michael Gray all over the place right now. Gets it to Kenyon Giles. Shockers in a good position. Just over 2 minutes to go. They're up 12 and in possession of the ball. Giles gives it to Michael Gray. 15 on the shot clock. One-on-one out front with Mason. Bounces it the right wing to Williams. Drives it from the top. Works to the left side of the lane. Now looking to take it in there on Mason. Spins baseline. Get a shot up and in and out. I thought that was down. I don't know how that came out. I don't understand how that ball came out. Nice move by T.J. Williams. Temple with it. Tobiasen down into the lane. Challenging Okorafor and gets in there and scores. Aiden Tobiasen now with 18. That cuts the lead to 10. Temple will call a timeout. But we're down to 1:40 to play. So again, the Shockers remaining in pretty good position. A 10-point lead with the ball with 1:40 left. Now, we just experienced on Wednesday night that almost anything can happen in college basketball. And so the Shockers just need to take care of it. The clock is their friend. Most likely they'll try to use a little bit of time and then either score or get fouled. But another score here would really be big. Right now, it is 10. That's a 4-possession game.
And if you get a shot, and I don't mean a jump shot, if you can take it to the basket and get that shot, take it. Temple's going to have to be scrappy. They're going to have to gamble. They're going to have to be physical. And Wichita State's going to have to take very good care of the basketball.
Again, congratulations to Emmanuel Okorafor. Actually, that is his first double-double of the year. 13 points and 10 rebounds. 13 points is a career high, and his previous rebounding high was 8 against 3 teams, Milwaukee, DePaul, and North Texas.
And guys need to come down and help him out. Boyd is coming up to the middle.
Full court zone press. Williams has it in backcourt. There comes a double team over to Michael Gray. Gets it into the front court. Man, they got their hands all over him with no call. Over to Williams, and finally they call Tobiasen for grabbing T.J. Williams. It's like the officials didn't want to put the best free throw shooter at the line because they were manhandling Gray. Then they fouled Williams, and he'll shoot 1-1. That's the 19th foul.
And Williams is going to the free throw line. He's 2 of 4 on the evening for Wichita State. He's starting to round out to that early season form when he was shooting a little bit better.
In double figures for the 9th time this year. 9 or more in each of the last 3 games. Minute 27 to go. That free throw, good. TJ with 11. And Wichita State with an 11-point lead.
We talked about the fact before the ball game that it could boil down to free throws, and Wichita State's going to get the opportunity here with 1:27 left in the ball game.
Temple right now 20 points below their season average, sitting at 54. Williams free throw, good. T.J. Williams, 2 big free throws to put this one pretty close to in the deep freeze. 66-54, minute 23 to go. Mason, right side of the floor on the wing to Tobiasen. He's going to launch a 3. That's bouncing off, and the rebound to T.J. Williams. Great hustle, saves it to Michael Gray, and a foul in the backcourt as Mason grabs Michael Gray.
How about Williams? Is he doing just about everything you could ask of a player?
A really, really good young player. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. It's 4 for 6 from the field, 4 for 6 from the line. Michael Gray now to the line for the first time. Has 3 points on a 3-point basket. He's an 84% free throw shooter. Minute 10 to go. First free throw, too hard.
Ouch.
I think that ends a little string for Michael. He was 2 for 2 against East Carolina, 2 for 2 against Tulsa, 5 for 5 over the last 3 games.
In 18 of his last 19, 36 of 40 for 90%.
That one is good. He's got 4. And it's now a 5-possession game. The Shockers are up 13 with a minute 9 to go. And what's the call? Whistle, something. Shane Land asking Temple to come back and inbound it again. I don't know what happened there, but a minute 8 on the game clock. They don't seem to be asking for, minute 10. Somehow something with the clock. I don't know. But Tobiasen will inbound it to Mason. Shockers have got this one pretty well in hand. Up 13, minute 5 to go. Griffiths out front bounces it over to Felt. Tried to get it to Ford, who couldn't get it. Now Mason in traffic, 15-footer, short. Rebound, Griffiths had it, and it ends up in the hands of Giles. I think they may call T.J. Williams for a foul.
Yeah.
That will be his third.
Yes.
And got the 10th team foul. So this will be 2 shots for Temple. But again, 54 seconds to go, and Wichita State up by 13. Gavin Griffiths, as we mentioned early in the game, hardly ever goes to the line. Less than once a game. The free throw is good this time. He missed 2 right at the beginning of the game. He now has 9 points in this one. Made a couple of threes, which he has not been doing lately. Averages 10.5 points per game. Spent a couple of years at Rutgers and won at Nebraska. That one rattles out. Wilberg, the rebound, gives it over to Michael Gray. Let's see if they continue to foul or if they're about ready to give up the ghost. 46 seconds to go. Gray in the front court, avoiding a double team, and they finally are going to call a foul as they just stayed on him.
Well, it's smart by Gray to keep the ball in his hands. One of the best free throw shooters on the Shocker team, either Giles or Gray going to the free throw line is pretty automatic.
43 seconds to go. Free throw good. Missed the first one. You wouldn't expect him to miss any more. He's now 2 for 3, 5 points. Wichita State's lead is 68-55 with 43 seconds to go. Got that one.
That looks sweet.
So the Shockers by 14, 42.7 seconds left. Mason into the front court for Temple. Signaling the offense, drives hard, but Giles shuts him out of there, puts up a shot.
That's
good.
a heck
Man,
of a
that
shot.
was a really difficult shot. Driving the left side and banking it in with his right hand. Temple calls a timeout. 33 seconds left. Wichita State by 12. And apparently that was just a quick timeout to make a substitution. They get Jemai Felt back in the game up front.
And get their press put on. Now he's going to need some help coming down here. And usually Boyd is the one to come down. Giles
is lurking where he could come down and help. T.J. Williams will play it in. 33 seconds left. Wichita State up 12. T.J. trying to get it in. Does to Michael Gray. They double team him, but he throws it up court to Boyd, over to Giles.
Oh, he was tempted. He was open for 3, and he was tempted.
Shockers are just going to dribble it out.
Oh, my.
The difference between the shot clock and the game clock is about 4 seconds. And the Shockers are
Let you shoot it, for heaven's sake.
Dribble it down to nothing and let Temple have it back with about 3 seconds. T.J. Williams, Kenyon Giles coming by to
congratulate
share their joy.
Yes, Mike.
3 seconds to go. Temple possession. The Shockers up 12, 69-57. It's into Gilliard. He's not going to shoot it.
Yeah.
Shakes hands with Michael Gray, and that's the ball game. Wichita State with another important conference win. Final score, the Shockers 69, Temple 57. Stay tuned. Post-game show coming up.
The Shockers play here on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Well, this has been quite a night.
Well deserved, Mike.
Shocker players coming by to share all of this with me. I mean, it's just been amazing and a really nice, solid win for the Shockers. 69-57 over a good Temple team. They held Temple 17 below their average, fell them to just 36%. And the Shockers, against a team that normally outscores its opponents by 4 points a game from the line, outscored them by 9. They out-rebounded them by 11. Just as solid a performance almost as you could ask for.
A lot of the things that we talked about before the game, Mike, they did. We thought that Wichita State would have to play really, really tough defense and outshoot the Owls. They certainly did that, outshooting them 42% to 36.4%. They held another team to around under 40% from the field. Their defense has been just extraordinary. And one of the key things that we thought was going to be an issue would be the three-point shooting. And Wichita State outscored them from the three-point stripe 6-5. And how about Giles? 5 of 10 from the three-point stripe. And those shots, Mike, were in a different time zone. He was way, way outside.
Wichita State moves to 18-10 overall. They've now won 8 of their last 10 games, and they are 10-5 in the American, guaranteeing themselves of no worse than a tie for second place with, what have we got, 3 games left? Yeah, UTSA and Memphis on the road, and then, of course, FAU back here for the final game of the regular season.
None of them really easy, even though UTSA has struggled. They've been playing better as of late, so Wichita State's going to have to play well these last 3 games, but you wonder, especially after the win the last ball game when they made miraculous shot after miraculous shot, if destiny might not be on their side, and we would sure hope so, but it's nice you have good, talented athletes as well, and the Shockers put a bunch on the floor again this evening.
The heck with destiny. They've got Kenyon Giles on their side, and Emmanuel Okorafor, and T.J. Williams, and some others that just really played beautifully tonight. This is going out in the arena. Those of you who are still here, thank you so much. Appreciate your kindness and your support. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll be back with more on the postgame show.
You're listening to Shocker Basketball on 103.7 KEYN Wichita.
Welcome back to Koch Arena. Wichita State, a winner tonight over Temple, 69-57. And I think before we give you the stats, let's give you the play of the game, brought to you by Odyssey. Odyssey Wichita is the proud broadcast partner of Shocker Basketball. Listen live on the free Odyssey app. Giles for 3. Good! In transition, right to the top of the arc, and buried it. He now has 4 trays, 18 points. Temple wants a timeout. That little dude is something else, isn't he?
Just a miracle worker.
Well, speaking of stats, he had his 14th 20-point or better game. 27 tonight. The Shockers ended up at 42%, but they were only 37 in the first half, then made 10 of 20 shots in the second half, including 5 of 6 threes and 11 of 15 free throws. Ended the night 42%, 6 of 12, 50% from 3. That's so much better than anything recently. And for just the second time in 10 games, the Shockers exceed 70% from the line, 21 of 29 for 72.5%.
And it was very important that they do so because we knew Temple was going to have to start fouling. How about Wichita State not only making 6 of 12 three-point shots, but they only took 12 three-pointers out of 50 field goal attempts because they were finding a way to take advantage of Temple on the inside.
Meanwhile, they held Temple, a pretty good offensive team, to just 36.4% and 57 points. They held them to 34.5 in the second half, and for the game, just 5 of 13 from 3, 12 of 19 from the line. This is a Temple team that shoots about 74%, typically outscores their opponents by 4 a game from the line, and the Shockers outscored them by 9 at the free throw line.
When Temple started to press and getting a little bit desperate and cut the lead down from an 18-point lead down to a 10-point lead, Wichita State could have blinked, but they did not. They played tough themselves. They threw punch for punch. And, of course, it certainly helps when you've got Giles scoring three-point basket after three-point basket. But they made some critical free throws down the stretch. And free throws, as you said, Mike, have been their undoing in many, many games. But today it was their friend.
For the 22nd time in 28 games, the Shockers out-rebounded their opponent. And for the ninth time by 10 or more, they out-rebounded Temple 39-28. Wichita State with more turnovers, 11-7, but 9 points to 8 off turnovers. Leading Temple, Aiden Tobiasen had 18, but they held him to 5 of 15 shooting. Darian Ford had 15, but he was just 5 of 13 from the field. And then 9 points for Gavin Griffiths, 8 for Jordan Mason, and 4 for Messiah Gilliard. For Wichita State, Kenyon Giles with that 27-point effort, 10 of 21, 5 of 10 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line. He also had 5 rebounds tonight. 13 points, 10 boards for Emmanuel Okorafor. That's a career high in points and his first career double-double. And then 12 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals for T.J. Williams. He was 4 of 6 from the line, or 4 of 6 from the field, and 4 of 6 from the line. 4 points for Karan Boyd, 4 for Dre Kendall, 6 points for Michael Gray, and 2 for Will Berg. So the Shockers, again, moved to 18-10 and to 10-5 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and still right in the hunt at the very top of the standings.
And they did some things that were important to do as you move down the stretch. They continued to play defense well. We've said defense wins championships. They continued to rebound well, Mike. They established their rebounding superiority once again against a team that's a pretty darn good rebounding team. And most importantly, when momentum started to shift, Wichita State held their own. They played toe-to-toe with them, and they were undaunted by the physical play, and they continued to return basket after basket and did not let that lead sink inside 10 points.
Shockers win it 69-57. Still to come. Well, Paul Mills is headed over, so we'll just wait right here until he gets down here. I understand we're going to get to talk to Kenyon Giles, which is always a pleasure.
What a surprise.
Also, Shocker Athletics, proudly supported by your locally owned and operated Five Guys. If you don't have plans to go eat somewhere after the game, that sounds like a pretty good option. Paul Mills sits down to join us, and again, the Shockers now 8 wins in their last 10 games, including a big run here in the conference to get them to 10-5. Coach, tough physical game. You talked about your guys maintaining physicality against this team. Were you pleased with that aspect?
Well, I honestly thought that Temple was one of the most physical teams in our league, and they're physical 1 through 5, not only defensively but offensively. And I thought the way that we started out the half, I think we were plus 11 on the glass at the half or at some point there, and really established ourselves pretty early. I thought we were getting offensive rebounds, and it was leading to us getting foul opportunities. And to be honest, I mean, that's a team that does a really good job of getting to the foul line. So a lot of pluses for us, and just happy because, I mean, they had 16 points at the 12-minute mark in the first half, and we just were not defending at the level. And I thought Dre came in and he kind of flipped the switch with his ball pressure, and to be able to hold that team to 36% and to be honest, do a really good job of limiting their free throw opportunities comparative to us, allows us to get a win. And KG in the second half, that also helps.
And on a night when Will Berg had a little bit of trouble staying on the floor, it just seemed like as soon as he came in, he got a foul, and E-Man comes through with his first double-double.
Yeah, you know, the 10 shot attempts by E-Man, I think a lot of them were a product of him retrieving his own shots. But, you know, we needed somebody there. And Will, I know it was probably hard for him to get in the flow, but I thought E-Man's presence early, and that kind of set the tone for us. We needed to up our defensive tenacity, and I thought all of those things fell in place, and then there was some shot making there at the end to give us some distance.
Temple is a real good free throw shooting team, but you sure dominated that statistical category.
Yeah, I think because there was such a focus of making sure that, you know, we attacked the paint. We didn't want to leave it to them, just given the fact that as downhill as they are, that they were the only ones. And to be honest with you, I thought our bigs did a really good job of showing and making those guys take long twos, you know, and they just weren't able to get to the rim. And, you know, Karan Boyd, I know offensively just it wasn't his night, but I thought his physicality just really, really helped. And you could see those guys get bumped off their lines a little bit because they're dealing with physicality, but we were able to do it for the most part without fouling.
You know, one of the things you look at with a few games remaining, you come off just a crazy win on Wednesday night, get back late, all that kind of stuff. But the focus and everything seemed to be there right from the beginning tonight.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I know Paint Points will say they won it 24-20, but our ability to get to the foul line and to establish ourselves from an offensive rebound standpoint pretty early. We haven't been offensive rebounding, and UAB is really good, and they held those guys to 29% on the offensive glass. So a number of things we did well. This is a well-deserved day off tomorrow.
You didn't have to take the threes, but when you did, you hit them. But you found the seams and shot very well in the second half.
Yeah, especially just in transition. We thought there were going to be some opportunities in transition, and TJ had one there in the first half, but we just weren't getting enough, generating enough, and I thought once we were able to make some threes, it kind of opened some things up for us.
I mentioned kind of kiddingly before the game, this could be the cherry on top for a special night for me. It was way more than that. This just became one of my favorite Shocker teams of all time. Thank you,
you bet. I will tell you, it was Kevin Saul. He mentioned to me that, on intros, they should probably go acknowledge Mike. And so,
nice.
Kevin, that. I'm over here thinking, what's the first play we're going to run? But Mike, thank you, man, for all you've done. I've only been able to be around you for 3 years, and you obviously do a really good job because you've been able to keep your wife during all this time. So
hopefully we got a lot more of these to talk about.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Shocker head coach Paul Mills. The Shockers winning it over Temple 69-57, and that's really all the main stuff. There was one game earlier today in the American. That's the only other American game on today's schedule. Charlotte beat East Carolina 68-56. So Charlotte now 8-6. They join UAB at the moment, one game behind Tulsa and Wichita State. Tomorrow, though, UAB at Memphis, 8-6 against 7-6. Rice at Tulane, UTSA at Tulsa, Florida Atlantic, and North Texas. So most of the games this weekend tomorrow. One thing I did want to mention, this just capped off a great day for Shocker Athletics. The Shocker softball team swept a doubleheader from Creighton. Kind of an unusual situation in a tournament, but they played each other twice back-to-back today. Shockers won 8-0 and 8-4.
Sweet.
And they have won 4 straight in that tournament in Arlington. They have improved to 7-5 now on the year. And the Shocker women's basketball team won here earlier today, 62-61 over UTSA. I was hoping we'd have maybe a baseball win to talk about, but we'll have to wait till tomorrow. And those of you who've been maybe thinking about moving on right now to the start of the baseball game, it has been postponed into a doubleheader tomorrow. They had rain today in Honolulu, so the schedule for tomorrow is, I believe it's the 7-inning game first, but it will start at 3 o'clock Central Time, a 7-inning game, and then a 9-inning game to follow, and you can join Shane Dennis and Denning Gehrig for those games tomorrow. Again, all I have to say is thank you so much to everyone. This has been far beyond anything I ever would have dreamed tonight. But more important than anything, the Shocker basketball team was outstanding.
They were great, but honestly, you deserve it. And whatever was done for you, and I don't think it's finished yet, but whatever has been done for you, you've deserved 100%. And congratulations, and we'll have more basketball to talk about your career, Mike. But what a special day, what a wonderful day for you.
Well, I think we need to go celebrate all this. Thank you to Phil Hildebrand and Armand Ely for their always excellent jobs. And for Dave Dahl, I'm Mike Kennedy saying thanks again and good night from Koch Arena. The Shockers with another win over Temple, 69-57.